Welcome back to We Got Goosebumps, a podcast dedicated to the landmark horror series for children, written by R.L. Stine back in the 90s. I'm your pal Cody, who doesn't laugh at your jokes, Dylan.
And I'm your evil little lap dummy, Travis. I'm on the cover of the podcast as, you take your pick, Slappy or Mr. Wood. All right, I'm on the logo as a puppet. Okay, I am your evil little lap dummy.
Well, what's your hair color? That's the only way to tell them apart if they're naked. Like if they take off all their clothes, Mr. Wood has red hair and Slappy has a more refined. Well, not refined. I don't want to say. Oof. No offense to the gingers out there. He has a less brightly colored coif than does his brother.
That's fair. I do want to point out, and we'll get into it. We were talking about two dummies today, Slappy and Mr. Wood, both euphemisms for giant dongers. I think that's wild.
I didn't, for some reason, I guess Slappy has been a part of my lexicon for so long as being the ventriloquist dummy who became the spokesperson for Goosebumps, like the Geico lizard, I guess. And... Which is funny considering how this book turns out, but I guess you can't base a whole empire around a panini dummy. There's got to be a better way to... I'll think of it. Wow. I did that thing where I just kept talking until I'm lost in the woods and I can't even see you anymore. So I'm just going to...
You did say panini dummy.
I did say
and I'm
panini
wondering
dummy.
If that's...
I just want to leave that.
Is that someone who makes you like a panini?
No. It's not like a sandwich artist. That's I was spoiling the end of our the book.
We might have read two different books, but okay. What are we reading here today?
Today we're reading number 7, which means we've done 7 plus 1, 8 episodes of this podcast. And number 7 is Night of the Living Dummy, which to be fair, if you don't know they're talking about a ventriloquist dummy, it just sounds like a really mean thing to say to like your dumb friend. Just like, oh, it's the living dummy. Like, it seems...
It really does. It's aggressive, yeah.
But anyway, it originally came out in May of 1993. Still real early in the 90s. And we telling everybody about the plot of the book as we go along. But Travis, did you ever have just a really intense desire as a child, say between the ages of 7 and 9, to have a ventriloquist dummy? Maybe not even to really learn to be a ventriloquist, but just to own that in your possession. Did you ever have that kind of fascination with a doll that could move?
It's strange that when I read this book, I was like, what a dumb premise. I don't know that if this could ever be scary, and it takes a minute before that kicks in, but I was reminded of, and I think they kind of reference this a little bit in the book. You remember Star Search with, was it like Ed McMahon? Did he do Star Search? With little kids would come out there and sing and they would get points or whatever. Mm-hmm. People had all these different talents or whatever. I do remember there being ventriloquists with dummies on there. I also remember those being on like late night shows occasionally for the entertainment. And it did make me want to try it. And I remember trying my ventriloquism out on my mom and dad and be like, I'd just say something to them like, make me a ham sandwich. And then I would be like, wait, did you see my lips move? Were my lips moving when I said that? Did you guys see it? Was that good? And so I do think I went through a period of kind of fascination, but the dolls themselves, without the guy being funny and without the ventriloquism part, always been creepy. I've never just wanted the dummy.
Well, I have to, I'm going to confess something to you, Travis. I definitely wanted a ventriloquist. Like, I wanted that dummy. I went through, I think, the same period of time where it's just like, oh, you can't do B's or P's, so you have to, like, kind of fake them, and, like, learning the little tricks of the trade and all that, and hearing that mentioned in the book being like, us kids that were creepily into moving dolls as children know what he's talking about when she says she can't say her B's. But oh yeah, I still want a ventriloquist. Reading this book was just like, oh yeah, I would love to have just ventriloquist dummy like sitting behind me at all times. So every week that we do the recordings, you would just see a ventriloquist dummy sitting next to me. And you have to believe I would do various things to make it look like it's moving throughout the podcast. That's like a bucket list item. Like it's
endless thrill. Oh. Yes. Man, that is a missed opportunity for you specifically. I mean, dolls are always creepy, whether you can put your hand up in them or not, right? Why are you punching everything? Oh, you're back. Oh, you do just have a random doll there, a big busty doll.
It's not
wow.
busty. What are you? It's a child.
Oh, Just, I think some of the stuffing up top was all scrunched. We're good.
I'll just sit her right
We're
here.
good.
No, don't worry.
Can't
I'll turn
see
the
her.
camera.
Can't see. Yeah, just let her.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to turn the
She
camera.
can keep us company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be fine. Wow, she's creepy. She's just
You're
creepy
welcome.
by herself. Where did you find
store.
that?
No, I got it at a thrift store. I bought some books on how to summon spirits, and I wanted to actually perform a ritual to summon a spirit and use the doll as a vessel and then sell it on eBay. Saying that out loud actually sounds like 3 bad ideas, but 1 really great idea if you ignore a lot of what I just said.
I liked the going to the thrift store part.
I would also like to say that is not a joke or a bit. That is 100% why I bought that doll.
My mom had a room in our house. It was a bedroom that, we had a big family, and then they all left, and then I was born. And so there was just vacant bedrooms upstairs. She commandeered 1 complete bedroom for doll storage. She probably had like 150 black-eyed dolls just perched in there. It was the worst room to enter. But what I would do, every new friend that came over, I'd be like, hey, come check this room out. No, follow me in here. It's cool. Don't mind the smell. Just come on in. What do you think of this? And they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. Anyway, do you want to go play Nintendo?
Just hearing you describe like that bedroom was like the opposite, I guess, of the Robert Shaw the sharks. Just a room full of dolls. Shark's eyes, black as night. Just
black like a shark's eyes. Yeah.
And it's also funny listening to you tell that story because my dad to this day is terrified of dolls because of the bedroom he stayed in when he went to visit his grandmother, which had dolls in display cases just on the far wall opposite of the bed. And he said some of them had teeth. And that's usually where he just kind of leaves off and wanders away. But it must be like a Southern grandma thing or Southern mom thing just to have a room that's just dolls.
Well, I don't know that my mom was that into dolls. I think she had a couple, and then people just would not stop gifting her dolls. I mean, she never went in that room either. She shoved them up there just to kind of like, I don't know what to do with all these dolls people get me. I don't want to look at them. They're creepy as hell. She was on our side. She didn't know what to do. But speaking of dolls, Dylan, there's one featured right on the cover of our book today. And this is another, we're getting ready to crack open the book, but first we got to stare at the fine work of Tim Jacobus. We have the original, the 1993 and the 2003 both feature our dummy, pretty close to the same covers. And yeah, he looks creepy. He's got some weird pupil stuff going on. I mean, hopefully he didn't look like that when they bought him, or well, it happens 2 different ways in the book. They get 2 dummies. One's found in a trash can, one at a pawn shop. Either way, I don't think I'm taking a dummy that looks like that home, Dylan. Not me.
Again, we've discussed the differences between you and I, and it's clear that I am Lindy. This is the problem whenever I listen to the audiobook instead of looking at the thing. I start thinking the name. No, Lindy. Because I don't hear Lindy as much, and I'm like, oh,
Lindy.
Lindsay? Am I leaving out as Lizzie? No, it is Lindy. I'm Lindy of the 2 of us, and you are definitely Kris, who is borderline doll phobic at the beginning. But I would, yes, 100%. If I saw a full-on ventriloquist dummy in the trash and it didn't have too much in the way of goo on it, right into my backpack coming home with me, straight away.
I would only take it if it had goo on it. That's the kind of guy I was. Real trash hound. But if you're familiar with Goosebumps to any extent, you've probably heard of Slappy. Mr. Wood is really only featured in this here first book of the Night of the Living Dummy series that's in the Goosebumps catalog. And Mr. Wood is really the main feature of this book, but it's Slappy here is rumored to be the doll rendered on the cover. So that's interesting. And on the cover it also says, "He walks, he stalks," which I think's kind of fun. He's got a little bow tie.
There's not even a point in the book where like Slappy is implicated in the shenanigans. It's never like anyone says like, "Oh, maybe that's the evil dummy." Like it's always Mr. Wood. So it's weird to have Slappy being like the villain on the cover, and then it's like, oh, it's almost like you're trying to be like really trick the kids into looking at the other dummy rather than this dummy, except either way, it's terrifying. Who cares which of the two dummies has come to life and is terrorizing you? Like,
it's true. And I don't think it really matters which one you think is on the cover, because you know the book is going to be about a creepy dummy. You can pretend it's either one, really. Doesn't really matter all that much. And then the 2008 cover, I don't like it. That one was made by a different artist. I can't recall the name off the top of my head. I mean, it seems okay. You get the full feel of the dummy there. It shows the dummy kind of slumped against the wall with an angry look on his face, mouth agape, head hung down, like he's been tossed in the corner of the closet, which will happen a few times in this. But to me, it's just the artistic style I don't like as much as those old school versions.
I really like this one. I think the puppet looks a little too Jigsaw-esque. And I think I said that about maybe the Japanese cover also has kind of a Jigsaw-y looking puppet on. No, it was the Arabic cover. I don't know. I kind of like this different direction and how sinister it looks slumped in the corner, like really pointing out like it's a doll. Or is it? Maybe it's a child. The number of times that child murder is implied in this book is a little disturbing, by the way.
It's quite a bit. Even pet murder arises nearly at some point. Really almost twice. And then let's go through the international covers. We got to lead off with our favorite, the UK. I don't mean to be too crass on a podcast talking about Goosebumps books, but this Goosebumps cover from the UK does to me look like Opie mid-orgasm. Also drowning in a bucket of blue bean juice. So you tell me if that's scary. I don't think it is.
I think we need to contact the artist at this point. I need to know what this... It's the same goo. It's different flavors of goo. That's what's concerning me, is like this is supposed... Like it's a different color every time with the same texture. Like some sort of tapioca gone wrong situation.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Wow. I mean, I think they're trying to make him wink, but it doesn't look... I don't know. I mean, it's doing a wink. One eye is open, one eye is closed, but there's just something about it that looks more like the doll is straining in some way rather than trying to be creepy with
you. Yeah,
it.
It looks like a mispaint more than like, oh, guy ran out of time on that other eye, so it's just like, yep, he's winking. Like, it doesn't look like a three-dimensional... like, his eyes look painted on in
That's true.
Can we move on from the British?
Yeah. Well, a good number of the international covers do borrow from Tim Jacobus's original, so, you know, even we like to look at the Dutch covers, but this one is just the same. It doesn't have that throwback Babysitter's Club aesthetic this time. It's really just the same. We get a different version for the French. That one's very French. It's interesting to me how a lot of these really reflect a lot of what I think about when I think of different countries, like artistic styles. This dummy looks more marionette-esque. Is that fair to say, Dylan? I don't know if I'm speaking correctly there, but it definitely has a French flair to it. I mean, I don't know how else you would say that.
It has a more, like, it doesn't look like a ventriloquist. No, the bottom jaw does move. You can see the lines there. But, yeah, it definitely has a more, like... Also, like, maybe vaudevillian kind of look.
Very barely, yeah. But yeah,
just a really heavily painted. Yeah. And you can see, I think that they were doing the tragedy comedy faces because I actually kind of like the cover because of the girl's expression is just so, like...
Oh, yeah.
get this thing away from me, where the dummy has this creepy smile.
And it looks like, what is her name? Millie Bobby Brown or whatever? It kind of reminds me of her, the young actress from Stranger Things. Yeah, I don't know her name. The young actress from Stranger Things, whoever played 11. It looks like the little, or the young woman that's on the cover of the French book Split in Time with Our Marionette. The next interesting one, I guess you would say, is Indonesia. What's going on there, Dylan? It looks like somebody that drew this read the wrong book. They read It from Stephen King.
Not only
on accident,
but it has bear paw. Like, it has a bear paw. Like, that is clearly the four front claws of a bear's paw sticking out of that jacket. But it looks kind of like, I would say if Rodney Dangerfield was wearing that suit and tie combo, you would not blink twice. Like, that's kind of like loud comedian clothes to me. Like,
right. Yeah.
And,
with a clown face,
yeah.
not at all what I would think of as a ventriloquist dummy face. And red hair seeping up out of the coat. I don't understand. Is that supposed to be chest hair? I don't remember that being a part of the book. Did our dummies have big old long strands of chest hair? I don't recall that.
I need to see. And the title translates to The Living Doll in Action.
Starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
The alternate titles are some of my favorites as well for these. So as we go along, we might have to read, because the Japanese title is also delightful, and also doesn't sound like a bad thing. Like, it's the fantastic ventriloquist doll.
Right. It sounds like an opener for my Big Lick Conspiracy improv. That we would be opened up by the fantastic ventriloquist doll. But that one's interesting. You just got the doll kind of sitting on the ledge of the window. Windows open, moonlight in the background. It's got I don't know, it's got a pretty interesting aesthetic to it. The doll looks weird.
It looks creepily cheerful rather than like gleefully evil, which I think, like, the American Slappy looks gleefully evil. This looks more creepily cheerful.
But I feel more sad for that face. I want to give that face like $1 and tell it to go get some gum.
Until you see the shadow that's casting, because it is casting the shadow of the devil himself, holding a pitchfork.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's a neat little detail, actually. Okay.
And then,
that's cool.
Of course, we have to go to Korea, because they always, if not my favorite...
They don't want to assimilate with the rest of the world. They have to be completely different.
It is... I would be pretty just fucking terrified if I saw that in my kitchen. I'm not gonna, like, if I heard a noise in my kitchen and I walked out there and from the glow of my now emptied open refrigerator I saw that thing sitting there, I would kill it. I would do it with, like, I would stomp on it. That is what I would attempt to do. Like, that would be my gut reaction, seeing... Ugh.
Yeah, and folks, remember, you can always look at the link in the show notes if you want to follow along with this cover excitement. But this one looks like it was drawn by the, I guess, artist and writer of the, is it Arthur's? Maybe it's not Arthur. What is it? No Good, Very Bad Day. Whatever that little kid's book was. But you know what I'm talking about? It kind of has that, like, pencil... the
kind of almost minimalist color. Yeah, like, just kind of the high colors are touched up.
I think it's Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, Very Bad, No Good Day or something like that. The name of the Korean cover is...
Laughter of a Wooden Doll.
Laughter of a Wooden Doll. Yeah. Call them like they see them over there.
Utterly terrifying.
And I think there's only one more worth talking about, Dylan. I'm going to take it. I'm going to let you take us through this Arabic cover, which is crazy sauce.
I think they're also using the same aesthetic as, like, because this is, I think this came out in 2008 along with the other reprints. So I think this is, like, they're going with the new jigsaw-y style, but it's like, it has, like, Slappy leaning out of the girl's bedroom. There's red paint everywhere. And just in case you thought it was blood, the paintbrush is also, I mean, it could still be blood. Like, he could just be, like, painting
That's true.
with blood. He's pushed his hands through the slats on the closet door too. Like, he's just broken through there. It's creepy.
There's a lot here, right? The more you stare at it, you kind of find something else.
I am going to point out technicality, an error that I've seen on all of these covers. Mr. Stein clearly describes the bow tie as being painted onto his chest.
It's true. All of these have actual bow ties.
So I'm just going to call BS and say all of these covers are terrible, including the British one, which not only has a cloth bow tie, but the bow tie is white.
Yeah. I do think that's where the reprints got it right. At least the North American versions, or I guess the non-Arabic versions. That one looks a little bit painted on, or at least looks as though it is wooden with paint on it. I'll give them 2 points for that. All right. Well, that was the cover, folks. Hope you enjoyed that, because now I think it's time to get in this frickin' book, Dylan.
So, Travis,
yeah.
Before I really dive into this, I have to say there's a small amount of dread each time where I wonder, am I going to hate these children? Am I going to be stuck with a sorry for the entire book? And I have to say that I think Sorry has met her match in terms of the absolute worst child on this or any other planet. But we'll meet. Let's meet her as we met her in the book. We get started right off in chapter 1, meeting a new set of siblings. We've had older sister, younger brothers, like older brother, younger brother. Now, not only that, do we have 2 sisters, but twins. Twin sisters.
Twins, our first twins. We have to commemorate first time in the series. Twins, we did it.
I'm assuming they're fraternal twins because he said they look almost identical, which makes me think like, well, then if they look almost identical, are you just saying because of the hair, or are you saying because they're not identical twins? I never could figure that out. It kind of drove me crazy, to be honest with you. It's like I'm
never brings it up again. There's never a point where them being twins matters. I think he just needed 2 girls the same age.
And have some reason
in the same house.
Why they would be competing with each other at all times.
Right.
Yeah. So we, and we're short order, we get to meet their mom. The mom is going to be the predominant parent figure. Usually it seems like one parent is central through these books. And Mrs. Powell is also my least favorite parent, I think, in any of the books. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Moody. She is... There's a reason that one of her daughters is a sociopath, and it's because she is also a sociopath. I'm just bringing it up now. There's a point where either Lindy or Kris says, their mom says, "Oh, you did very nice. I thought it was funny." And Lindy's like, "Mom never gives compliments to your children." Like, not just like in general, but her own children are not used to their mother complimenting them. Oh my God.
I get that.
Like, from one moment, you just, like, understand what's going on in this house. I wonder why the twins are trying to constantly compete with one another to get the one compliment their mom will give out every year. Like, it's Christmas. This year it's June 13th. I'm sorry. I completely... I'm just...
It was so familiar with Mrs. I almost called her mommy once while reading this book. She definitely reminds me of my mother.
Well, does Barky remind you of anyone who's not a Cocker Spaniel this time? But the names are getting worse for the dogs.
The names are getting worse. The breeds are getting a little more diverse. So we do have a black terrier named Barky, and that's just the signal that anything named in the rest of the series is going to be at least that bad. Barky is the name of a dog.
We're about 1 or 2 names short of just calling the dog. Like, we're that close.
Dog. Yep.
Oh, and Sydney is in full flight today. So the mom has a moment of just like, get out of the house. I'm not even going to be in the house, but you 2 are driving me crazy, because they're doing their usual competing thing, which we find out, where they're trying to one-up each other about just the what they say is the most insane stuff, but it actually seems pretty normal one-upmanship, as you'll see.
Right.
But there is a strong competitive streak between the 2. So Kris seems to be the slightly more nicer one from the beginning, because her mom is just like, hey, let's get out of the house. You just get out of here, stop fighting, go do something. And Kris tries to talk Lindy into going in on their bikes, maybe going out on the playground, see if that cute boy's there that she likes, and just get out. And Lindy finally drops what she's doing. They all head on out, and they pass by a construction site, which they talk about all the stuff they did as the house, because there used to be a house that was torn down. And then they put down the foundations, and how both Kris and Lindy are fascinated with this and walking through the house and looking at the floor plans. And they realize now there's no builders, so they're just going to scoot on over also and check out the house now that more of the walls are up and they can actually get a good look at what's going on. And again, I'm on board with the kids so far, because that would have also been me. It's like, oh, we can get into like a mostly built house. Like, there's nothing more exciting than most of a house.
That's true. I mean, and it's kind of a hideaway if you're a kid. No one's going to be there sometimes. So you could always go hang out and hide and smell sawdust. They like the smell of sawdust, which my dad had a wood shop, and I thought sawdust smelled like old cheese and my dad's farts. Although some of that could have been my dad's farts.
Yeah, I don't really like the smell of sawdust. Oh, I love the smell of sawdust.
Do you? Maybe at first. Honestly, it depends on the tree. I'll say that.
That's fair. I'll give you that. I too do not like the smell of.
My dad always used fart trees.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. Oh, that's a bad sign that we immediately went for that. The dreaded fart tree. Can you imagine the Lorax that would speak for that tree? It's probably your dad. Actually, I'm just thinking of that. But so they're exploring the house and checking it out, and then. They hear a pitter patter, footsteps on the second floor. Something's scurrying around upstairs in the house, and
it's not Barky.
And you'd hear the tacking toenails, right? Like if it's dog, they don't have.
That's true. If it's a dog,
yeah. I immediately assumed, obviously, because I read the cover of the book, that this was a dummy, and I don't know why this is such a visceral thing for me, but thinking of dolls' feet running across the floor, that gets me a little bit. Like, I'm not scared of dolls generally, weird, right? But thinking of the sound of tiny footsteps, just
yes,
I don't need that necessarily. That's if I heard something like that running around in my attic, I would lock the attic door, and that would be the last time we ever went up there, and we would be looking for a new place.
I don't blame you. And there's something too, like toddlers don't have a very rhythmic run because they're toddlers, so they're drunk. They're like drunk people. You can kind of tell when a toddler's coming, but something about like the controlled gait of a pitter patter of a shoe wearing doll skittering across your floor or above you. That's kind of, I'm with you. I was like, already we're getting doll action this early in the book.
Yeah. I don't want to hear like the sure stride of a killer, but child-sized. That's upsetting to me. Like, I don't want to think about that. We're just gonna move along. But luckily, R.L. Stein remembers stay out of the basement. And he's just like, what made those little pitter pat sounds? It's just a squirrel. Just a little squirrel. They see a squirrel like outside, and they're like, oh, squirrel's probably in the house. Left the house. Kris isn't convinced. Kris is like, you get this feeling that Kris is a little more paranoid, like she's a little more defensive about stuff. As it comes along, you'll be like, Kris bought into some things real quick. But so Kris is like, I think that was a little too heavy for a squirrel, but who cares? Like, what's the worst it could be? Then Lindy, girl after both of our own hearts, spots something cool in a dumpster and just like books it. She goes to that dumpster. She's excited, goes in there, pulls something out. And Kris is just horrified at what she sees in Lindy's hands. Dun, dun, dun.
And Kris,
I'm workshopping.
Of course, we're in chapter 2.
I'm workshopping the dun, dun, duns.
That's good. No, you did good. It was your first one. Yeah. That was pretty good. Kris, and we all, maybe, would think it's a child. Lindy's holding a dummy. Kris thinks, oh God, is that a child of some sort? And what makes me kind of laugh in retrospect is Lindy booking it to the trash can, hoping that she's seeing a child.
Which I can believe.
And then disappointed. Yeah. Given the sociopath that we'll find out she is later. But it's just a dummy. Okay, we've seen it on the cover. Okay, we've met a dummy. It's a ventriloquist dummy. It's in perfect shape, they say, which is wild because it was in a dumpster. Well, how did it get there? We may never know.
Who
the
would
backstory.
throw away a perfectly good ventriloquist dummy?
Exactly. Who? Not me. I would definitely not do that. But she immediately names it Slappy. Doesn't even give it a second thought. She's like, "Yeah, it's great. I'll just name this thing Slappy right now. Let's do it right now. I'm not going to workshop it. I'm not going to take it home first and think about it. This is Slappy, the doll." I thought that was wild. I was like, "Damn, Lindy's just firecracker." You know, she's very assertive. And then she starts teasing Kris with it, and Kris is not into it. She's like, "I thought it was a child less than a minute ago. Now you're teasing me with it. I don't like where this is going." And on the way back from this house, they're ready to go home. They found, Lindy's got loot. She's ready to go home, play with it. And she's already, using it as a ventriloquist doll, having a little fun. And then they run into two kids that they used to babysit just walking down the street. And, little kids love when big kids entertain them, right? And so Lindy, she uses the doll, entertains the two kids. Two kids love it. Oh my gosh, hee-hawing, laughing, giggling, just having a good time. That gives Lindy all the confidence she needs to ruin Kris's life over the rest of this book. She sees this, she's like, "Oh, I can get laughs out of this? I can get attention out of this? Heck yeah, dude. I'm going to be a ventriloquist." And Lindy immediately sees Kris a little creeped out by the whole thing. Maybe correctly reads that Kris is a little jealous too. Like, saw that attention and relishing it a little bit. Like, oh, Kris is jealous of me now because they're very competitive, identical twins, looking for that unique identity. And Kris kind of shoots a look over at Slappy. He's like, "I don't know, there's something about that doll. He's got this." It's called, R.L. Stine refers to it as a wide, knowing grin. And it reminds me of that grin that my daughter makes when she rips one. And I look over at her and I'm like, yeah. So maybe Slappy ripped one. But either way, this whole thing is, this isn't a creepy cliffhanger in chapter 2, but it just kind of sets the tone of, we already know our main protagonist doesn't feel good about this doll. Let's see where this is going to go. So on to chapter 3 we go. Dum, dum, dum.
I want to know if you're a little, as someone who's been podcasting, working to build those audiences, working to build those connections, working to get that recognition. How much did you want to slap Lindy who gets booked day one to do a birthday party? Yeah. Like her the VH1 behind the music for Lindy's climb to stardom. I'm assuming it's going to go musical at some point. She's going to ditch Slappy. She's going to try and go solo, do the pop star thing. But just immediately, she's going to go to the Marshall kids' mom, $20 to do their birthday party?
$20.
And with
this
inflation,
is 1993, $20.
Yeah, $3,000. I looked it up.
$3,000. Yes, she could have bought a used Trans Am for the amount of money she's going to get from the Marshalls to do this party with this freaking dummy. I was blown away, Dylan. It was actually, you're right. I was as, if not more jealous than Kris of Lindy reading that she got a gig just by walking into the house with a doll.
It's, and I think R.L. Stine did something smart, which is we don't get a lot of Lindy's act. We don't know what her act is, the jokes, the gags, the bombs she's dropping. What exactly is killing the audience? So it's always left to our imagination about how she's slaying these audiences. You just have to take R.L. Stine's word for it. And then I feel the real tragedy is that he does the jokes that he wrote for
Kris.
Yeah. But
yeah.
So,
but you're right. That was a good decision on his part. It did add an element of mystique. We know Lindy was great. Even Kris says so. But we'll never know how funny she was.
Except she keeps getting those gigs, $30. Oh, spoilers. I'm sorry. Whew. But so and this is the real test, because I don't know if you remembered being 12, I would never have been brave enough to bring a ventriloquist dummy to middle school and try out my new act. I in college, I did a speech on voodoo, and I didn't even want to bring in the voodoo doll I had, and I was 22 years old.
Wow.
I was in college for like 6 years as an undergrad, but
I didn't even want to walk around with my own haircut or belly. You think I'm going to bring a doll into this?
Yeah.
There's no way.
But the kids love it. That's the other thing. Well, you kind of find out later that some of their friends are like, but like apparently just random kids in the hall are like, yeah, ventriloquist dummy.
Wow.
Oh, and it moves.
I mean, think back to school, Dylan. You know, we were talking about ourselves, but if you saw someone else in school with a ventriloquist dummy, I'm not gravitating toward that person.
No.
Even if the better they are at it, the worse I don't like them. I'm like, no. There's some of it's jealousy, like, oh, look, you getting all the attention because you're skilled at something, and I'm just fat and bad at Quake. But the interesting thing is, like, to me, if you brought the dummy to school and you were bad at it, I would think you were hilarious. I'm immediately your best friend. I'm like, dude, this guy Seth brought this dummy to school today, he was so bad at it. We played with that thing all day long. I mean, that's a story I would share. The better at it you are, the more of a sociopath I think you are. I'm sorry, ventriloquist. I just think that.
Man, like you hit ventriloquist crowd today. I hit Virginia Beach and a couple other cities. Like, and the Venn diagram for fans,
yeah,
ventriloquist and living in Virginia Beach is pretty.
It is they call that the capital. So
the capital of.
We've really just wiped that off the map. Yeah, capital of ventriloquism.
Wow, yeah. I didn't say that. That was Travis. I know we sound identical, just like these two daughters, but I had to put the Boston in there to like, no, we're different people. Don't worry.
We sure are.
But what really turns Kris from being like, I hate Slappy to I need my own wood, is she sees that her crush, Robbie, is, do you like what I did there? You like what I did there?
Yeah. They're wooden dolls.
Yeah.
And it's coming back.
And Robbie, he loves this dummy, which to me is like, either Robbie is like me, and maybe she needs to be a little concerned about his interest in the dummy. Like, does he want it? Does he want to put things into it? Like, So immediately, the sheer audacity of Kris, not only what she does, but the timing of it is amazing to me. Because she goes, they go home, she's sulking, she's slowly turning the wheels. You know what? I like dummies. I want a dummy. I need to get a dummy. Where's my dummy? Like, she's turned this into like, I can't believe I don't have one. Her parents are like, Lindy, show us what your dummy, like, show us your act. And while Lindy is going upstairs to get her dummy, about to show her parents her performance for the first time, that's when Kris is like, I want a dummy. Lindy comes down,
yes.
Show canceled, basically, at that point.
Yes.
It is a masterful move on Kris's part to sabotage Lindy completely. And it's only later that we find out that Lindy is the real master at this game. But it was a nice early effort from Kris that I think set the stage for later.
It was. She had me at the start. I was like, Kris, dude, back down. But later in the book, I was like, no, you had every right. You had every right, girl.
You should have gone further because you missed your opportunity to hurt her before she could get you. But so there's a little fighting. They're going back and forth. Lindy calls Kris a copycat, and you kind of get the feeling that that's probably actually true because Kris doesn't really come back.
Lindy's not wrong here.
No, this is a complete copycat move. When Kris went this way, I was just like, Kris, come on. You had me in your corner, and now you're kind of being a little shit. Like,
exactly.
Let your sister have her things. You have your things. But Kris is like, hey, I want a dummy. Lindy's got a dummy, and her parents are like, dummies are too expensive. Share the dummy. The decision that makes literally no one happy. The worst decision, and which results in the first glimmer that maybe something is going on. Deep within the recesses of Lindy's sociopathic brain. This is the beginning.
But we don't know yet.
Oh, right. It could be Slappy, too.
Know.
Yeah. So...
You don't know yet.
The parents are like, share the doll. Stop yelling. Just... Kris goes to get Slappy. He's like, can I hold him? She asks nicely. She's not being like, give me the doll. Mom said it's okay. And you know how she gets. She says, and she's like, can I hold him for a little bit? Lindy starts to hold out the doll, and then Slappy's like, "You moron!" and just slaps her. Like, across the face.
Yeah.
Just five across the eyes from a wooden hand. Dun, dun, dun! That was more like Law and Order.
Man.
I don't like that.
It was.
Yeah.
But that's okay because Kris just got Rick James'd, bitch, by Slappy. And I'm naturally upset because you don't think it's the doll. It's the person whose hand is up inside the doll. And so obviously she's very upset at Lindy over this Slappy assault, over this slap. You know, she called him Slappy for a reason.
Mm-hmm. She saw those.
She's going to slap
those meaty paws. She knew what they were for.
Yeah, those bear claws they have in was it Indonesia?
Oh, maybe that's what that's referencing. It's just like, oh yeah,
maybe
those hands will hurt. That's what you picture when she gets slapped in the book is a grizzly bear just raking its paws across her face.
But Lindy pleads innocence. She's like, but it was Slappy. Which, come on, Lindy, it's horseshit. Your hand was up inside the doll and you hit your sister with it because you're upset. We know the answer here. And Mr. Powell, Dad, who's, I can't figure him out sometimes. He kind of borderlines like being an assertive parent and just being a tired parent. But
well, he's not a very fat dad. He's described as lean at one point.
Yeah, we got our. I think we can celebrate that too. We have our first identical twins and our first lean dad. Yeah. But he forces Lindy to apologize. And he says, "You hand over the doll. You apologize to your sister for smacking her upside the face with the doll that I told you guys to share." And Lindy is very upset. She's still like all on this copycat thing. And I mean, kind of understandable. You know, she lashed out too far, but she's upset.
And in front of her parents.
So the girl, you know,
like,
right.
Well, you forget that first she did the bullshit. And it's like, say you're sorry to your sister. And it's like, then she makes Slappy go, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, you know that's not what we meant. Don't insult our intelligence. Don't waste our time.
Right. Brave. I mean, again, at this point in the book, I still think Lindy's in the right and a little bit and a bit of a tantrum, but I get it. Kris is a little more whiny. So the girls, they break it up. They send everybody to bed. You know, no dummies tonight. We're dumbed out. And so that night, Kris wakes from a bad dream, having a bad dream there, and kind of, you know, a little bit of some light in the room. Looks up over the sheets where Slappy's sitting on a bench sort of across the room and sees Slappy staring at her. Now, dolls stare. There's a doll staring at me right now beside Dylan, you know. It's just a natural thing. Dolls mostly stare. It's really all they're capable of. So that's not too alarming, but it unsettles Kris. She thinks that it's more of a sinister look. And so she gets up and she goes over to him. Something compels her to do this. Maybe she's going over there to turn the head away. That might be what I would have done. Like, I don't want this thing looking at me all night. I was make it face the wall or something. But she goes over, touches him. He feels, just make him look over. But he feels warm. Huh, that's weird. Dolls aren't supposed to feel warm. Ain't got no blood in there, no heart beating. What's going on with that? And then she thinks she hears him snicker. Thinks she hears a hee. I don't know how he would snicker, but to me, it's like a 73-year-old smoker voice constantly. So the snicker would be like, but she decides, you know what? And somehow she decides this. After she's had a bad dream and then just interacted with a doll that laughed at her, she's like, I'm going to go back to bed. But Slappy grabs her wrist. Uh-oh, what the dun dun dun?
I'm going to read your notes as is for the first time ever. Lindy was being a dick.
Yeah, being a dick.
And this is the train where it starts diverging to which sister I'm kind of rooting for, because Lindy's doesn't stop the whole like gotcha again over and over again, and then the long con that you have to know is coming. Well, you know what? We'll take things as they come. So Kris went on to have more bad dreams. Like something's chasing her, probably with the little tiny pitter-patter of tiny patent leather shoes running across asphalt. And, wakes up. She's not happy. No one else is happy. But So she doesn't have a great night, and the day kind of goes by without much else going on. I can't remember if they go to school or whatever, but it wasn't exciting enough a day to talk about. Meanwhile, like, it's dinner time. Mom and Dad are making meatloaf. Dad drops the classic joke about, there's a great way to keep onions from making you cry when you cut them. I wish I knew it. But
while he and Mom are both just sobbing over onions, I love that scene. That actually cracked me up.
That was like a good little moment where I'm just that's a scene that I still reenact with my wife just constantly every time we cut onions because I have very delicate eyes. And she wears glasses.
I'm sad about the plight of onions, personally.
If you wear glasses, it helps actually a lot. Do you know what that is? Do you know why cutting onions makes your eyes hurt? It's horrifying.
No.
So,
is it because your parents don't love you?
That's why your onions made you cry, Travis.
Oh.
But why? I'm going to start billing you for this time that we're together. So, onions contain high amounts of sulfur. That's why sweet onions are sweet, because they're actually grown in soil that has low concentrations of sulfur in the soil. So when you cut open a standard onion that is filled with sulfur, it releases a sulfuric gas, and when it meets your eyes and mucous membranes, it creates sulfuric acid. So it is literally melting your eyeballs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those are the only facts I collect. That and early Christian church history, which is very fascinating. We can talk about that later.
We won't.
Off air.
Oh, yeah.
But so Kris bails on the situation of the kitchen, the cooking. Goes up to her room, and she sees something that makes her blood run cold. Not only is there Slappy, but there is another dummy sitting right next to him. And Kris says, "What is going on here?" Bum, bum, bum.
Like, holy shit. Did Slappy clone himself, or did he invite somebody over?
I'm gonna be honest here. This is just more sign that there's actually 3 dummies in this house, because if I saw that there was another dummy in my bedroom after I'd asked my parents for a dummy, my immediate thought would be Slappy brought his friend over to kill us in our sleep. Because that's apparently where her brain went.
Yeah, definitely not to, I guess Dad loves me and bought me my own dummy. No, she was very afraid. But no, it's a new dummy. Likely made by the same company, says Dad. But they looked a little different. Dylan, do you recall what those differences are? I didn't take note.
So
but they were able to remember.
He was dressed basically like he was a fan of like Nirvana, and he was wearing a plaid shirt, got the Converse. Like he was kind of like doing sort of a grunge look, but like maybe not really sure about what, because I don't think Converses are really part of the grunge. But definitely the plaid shirt, had bright red hair. Like he was dressed, he was casual. He's a little more casual than Slappy.
Right.
But he's the kind of teacher that wants you to call him by his first name, and probably should be reported to the principal for indiscretions.
All right. Very good. And much the way that Lindy named Slappy, again, without workshopping it or thinking about it for a minute, Kris immediately leaps to Mr. Wood. I don't... what? Why? Why are you naming it Mr. Wood? You named your dog Barky. You named the dog Barky, didn't you, Kris?
At least Slappy doesn't reference the fact that, like, what he's... Like, Slappy is kind of a... It's a clown name, like, it's a comedy name.
Yeah,
but
Bozo,
it's not,
Slappy.
Mr. Wood is a little on the nose, the Pinocchio nose, like, because it's...
yeah.
Ugh, I actually feel bad about myself. I'm sorry.
That wasn't great. No. But, what I think is interesting is that Mr. Wood has, you're calling him Mr. That's sort of a distinguished title you're giving him, but Slappy's the one wearing the gray suit. You know, I feel like Slappy should be wearing the flannel and the high top sneakers.
Yeah.
We're thinking about it too much, but you get the point. Like, it seems flipped, it seems reversed. But at any rate, Dad says, you know, Kris comes downstairs she says, "Hey everybody, meet Mr. Wood." And Dad, you know, being a good dad, he's like, "Yeah, saw it at a pawn shop. It was super cheap, sitting in the window. It was priced to move." It's almost, I mean, it's like they basically just had it out in the dumpster. You know, it's just there's just dolls. People are just trying to get rid of them around here. And the kids have a bit of an argument. They're competitive, right? So they're arguing over who's going to be better with their doll. Lindy's already got a head start. She's got gigs. Kris, not even really that interested, just wanted the attention that Lindy was getting. I don't think she's as passionate about ventriloquism as Lindy, but that's that. So then a day later, Kris invites her friend Cody Matthews over to be her audience while she does some practice. And now, if you recall in the intro to the episode, Dylan was our friend Cody, who doesn't laugh at our jokes. And Cody is, to me personally, a problem. Give me a sympathy laugh. You know, give me a pity laugh. Let me see, like, just show me you even enjoy my company. It doesn't have to be all about the jokes I make.
I feel like you gave him a critique. You gave him like a one-sentence review, which is he's not into act, wants to leave. Like, it just seems like, fuck Cody. Like, that's how that reads to me. Like, you know what? Be a better friend, Cody Matthews.
I empathize with Kris. You know, she just gets started out, it's got her doll, and really wants to, you know, try some stuff out. She's been working on some material, and Cody comes over and he's just not interested. And Kris says, "You know what I need? I need more," and this is where I depart from Kris a little bit and agree with Lindy. Kris thinks she needs more joke books to be funnier than Lindy. And she brings that up later, and Lindy's like, "No, I don't use joke books to come up with my own stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's how you should do it, honestly, Kris. If you don't have it, don't be looking through the joke books." But anyway, later when she meets up with Lindy, and she's like telling her that, "Hey, Cody came over, and I tried my my act out on him, and boy, that Cody laughed a ton. I never seen Cody laugh. So he was laughing so hard, I thought he was going to die. He's laughing so much at the stuff that I was doing." And Lindy's like, "Sure."
Well, what's even funnier is, like, Lindy says, I didn't even know he had a sense of humor. Like, just,
yeah.
Like, why'd you pick him for your jokes?
Seriously, yeah, you could have tried it out on a tree, I guess. I know there's one over in Deadfalls that fell over laughing. But
only you would call back a tree. We need our therapy sessions are actually going to be about you getting over that tree.
That tree impacted me in several ways, but you know, they do their bickering as kids. Who's going to be better? Okay. And Lindy's pretty cocky at this point in the book. But they put Slappy and Mr. Wood together on I'm imagining like a little bench near the foot of their bed or somewhere in their room. And in the morning, when they wake up, Mr. Wood, gone. Dum, dum, dum.
This is where things are interesting for me, because it's so far literally nothing supernatural has happened. So, but you know the title of the book. What is the title of this book? I know it's probably backwards for you, but like, it's Night of the Living Dummy, so it's got to be the dummy, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
If you think about the fact that nothing supernatural has happened, the answer to this cliffhanger is one of 4 people. Mom, Dad,
right.
Lindy, or you. Did you do it? Did Mom or Dad do it? Who did it then? But, so Kris goes to Lindy and she's like, "Lindy, you need to fess up right now. Did you take Mr. Wood?" And Lindy's like, "No, golly gee willikers, Kris. If I was going to borrow Mr. Wood, I'd tell you." And Kris is just like, "Well, you know what? That sounded legitimate to me. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Lindy. So where did Mr..." And then she finds Mr. Wood wearing Kris's clothes.
Yeah.
And now they're wrinkled.
Strange.
They're all wrinkled. And
That's upsetting.
Chris is furious. Like, when I first read this, I was going along with it. You know, I had the audiobook reader, so she's fired up, I'm fired up. I'm thinking about this now, it's just small child's clothes. Yeah, just like 3 swipes with an iron and they're probably done. Like, it just Chris, let it go. Chris.
Yeah.
And also,
let it go.
Who did it? It's probably your mom. Chris, it's probably your mom. Dun, dun, dun. I can't.
Dun, dun, dun. Who did it? Who moved the doll and put Chris's clothes on it? Is this the scariest thing that's ever happened to Kris in her life? Seems Apparently. Like maybe it would be, according to her. But flash forward. The sisters, Kris and Lindy, and a couple of their friends, Alice and our pal Cody, who refuses to understand jokes, they're all hanging out while Kris is practicing with Mr. Wood. And Lindy, she's kind of giving Kris a hard time. You know, Lindy's more practiced at this point, maybe has a more natural sense of humor. Kris is trying her best, but Lindy's giving her a hard time, talking down to her, being patronizing, you know, trying to take over for her and show her how to do things, but not really being kind about it. She's like, here, let me show you how to hold Mr. Wood. And she picks him up and
she jerks it out of her hands. Like Lindy, pulls it from her. Like, hey, you're fucking it up. Let me show you how to do it right. That's how Lindy probably talked.
She does talk like she grew up in Southie, but in showing her how to hold him, you know, she's trying to go over some instructions. She makes the doll, or we think she makes the doll say, "You're a jerk. You're a stupid jerk, stupid moron. Get lost, stupid jerk," in a low, growly voice. And Dylan, I know you're a horror movie buff, and I mean, you don't have to be a horror movie buff to get this reference, but anytime that R.L. Stine described the dolls talking, I immediately thought of the girl from The Exorcist, and the way she talked when she was possessed.
That would be good too. Yeah, no, that's
like this low, growly, high pace, like, you're a jerk, you're a stupid jerk, stupid moron. Like, I kind of imagined it in that. And the kids are in shock, and Lindy swears Mr. Wood did this himself. I did not. Did you see? Am I that good of a ventriloquist that I can sound demented and possessed? Wasn't me. Your doll's crazy. Is that true? I don't know. Kris is unsure. Lindy seems believable. Dum, dum, dum.
Even, like, Cody and Alice seem to, like, Cody's like, whoa, guys, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, please tell me
Did someone just call me a loser? He thinks they're talking to him.
Please tell me it was just a joke, you guys. I can't handle this. I don't want to show her hand too much, but Lindy does a smart thing here. And instead of, like, playing it up anymore, she's just, I can't deal with this anymore. And she just removes herself from the scene. That's good. You don't want to overplay it, like, if you're pulling a long con. Like, you did your business, you dropped it, you backed out, walked away. Good. You set the hook. Right. Put the bait on the hook. Now you're going to let it simmer out in the water.
That's simmer in the water. That's how you fish. You let it simmer.
I've been
in the cold water
3 or 4 times. And
I can tell. No, I can tell.
You hold the fishing pole like this, right?
Yeah. You can.
But she leaves. Plus, she's late to her gig. She timed it pretty good there too. She's like, "Oh, my gig, bye. Got to go to this." The I think this is the party, the first birthday party. So she's actually working her first gig today.
Yeah, and I'm upset that she's 12 and can say she has gigs. I really want that life. I'm 37. I can't get a gig. I need gigs.
You have a gig next week.
I do have improv gigs.
Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot that improv gigs aren't real gigs. I'll go let Amy and Kevin know that's how you feel.
I just said I forgot. I'm
recorded. You're on record now. There are no
I just remembered I have gigs.
But anyway.
Wait, are you good? Or is it my turn? Sorry.
No, it's still my turn. What are you talking about? So, Lindy, I have spent 3 hours on the first sentence. So, Lindy books it to her gig. Kris goes home, and she's basically moping. She knows what's going on. Lindy's killing. These 8-year-olds are eating it up. 8-year-olds are a pretty easy audience. As long as they don't turn on you, you just need to keep them on your side. Keep them on your side, and you're good, from what I understand. Lindy comes back, and she's glowing. She's had rave reviews, Variety, New York Times. Everyone's talking about her and her performance and Slappy. They've killed this birthday party in the best possible way. She didn't just get $20. She got $25.
Oh,
they gave her extra money for nothing. And you know why? It's because they looked into how much a magician would cost, found out it'd be like $100, and they're like, yeah, we'll pay $20 for the ventriloquist, thanks. That's really how that birthday party situation went down. Or she's great. I don't know. And but did some networking at the party. Once again, Lindy's a smart cookie. She's excited. She's about to leave the room, basically. The whole time Kris is doing that. Oh, I'm glad it went well. Good job, Lindy. Like, she's trying to, the best she can. We'll give Kris that much. But I feel like Lindy is like, just the whole time she's backlit, framed in the door, just like looking down at Kris, telling her about her triumphs, and she's about to turn and leave through the door, but Kris is like, oh, we went to the mall, and while we were there, I booked a gig. And Lindy just mind blown, because now Kris is going to be working the school spring concert. Live performance, an audience of 100 parents.
Wow.
Booked it. They didn't even have to hear her act. She was like, I've got a dummy. And they're like, how much do you charge? She's like, I don't know. Free. Good. Boom. She didn't talk about getting money off this gig. I feel like this is...
She didn't.
Yeah.
She just wanted that exposure.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's the stakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a spring concert. School's not going to pay you.
No. That's
it's
true. They barely have enough money for the actual concert. It's 20 kids on stage with recorders that they had to share with every other child that year. Whew. I was thinking about music class in 3rd grade. But they go to dinner, do whatever they do after dinner, brush their teeth, get ready for bed, come back into the bedroom, and the dolls have moved again, Travis. Only this time.
On their own?
Oh, yeah. Because there's only one way that this could have happened. No human being could stack books like this, Travis. And there's no way that 2 dummies couldn't be placed like this with human hands. Because what they see, things have escalated. Before is dresses and funny gags. But Mr. Wood's out to kill, and he's got Slappy by the throat, and he's throttling him. I bet you if they do an autopsy, that hyoid bone is going to be broke clean in 2, buddy. Oh, hopefully they can get there in time. Dun dun dun!
Man, I hope so too. Call 911. My dummy's upside down. But, the girls kind of come together in this moment. They admit, oh my God, we're scared. What's going on with the dolls? Oh. And they want to tell Mom what's going on. Let's go tell Mom. Let's get a parent involved with these dolls. She'll believe it. Remember, you know how she loves us and is always showing her love to us? She'll totally believe that. So they go into the bedroom where Mom's reading. I think Dad might be out of town for a few days in this book. I don't think. Yeah. So Dad's not around. Mom is by herself in the bed reading a Stephen King novel, not unlike, what I imagine Dylan does most nights. And Mom must be deep in this book, because it reminds me of my mom whenever she was deep in a book, and I'd be like, hey mom, and just brought up something stupid like, Mom, my dummy's upside down. Very annoyed. Just fuck off. I'm sick of you guys competing all the time. Just leave me alone. Just put the dolls away. It's fine. And Kris is like, we got to separate these dolls. You know, like the old Offspring song, got to keep them separated. So she takes one, throws it over in the old closet. And she's not very graceful with these dolls. She really does just kind of toss them around. She probably tossed them into the closet.
Oh, yeah.
And later that night, she goes to sleep. And weirdly, this is kind of like a weird detail that pops up, but her nightshirt gets twisted and starts preventing circulation around her. Have you ever been like, I usually sleep in the buff, but, you know, I mean, no matter where I'm at, like if I fall asleep in my car, I'll usually strip down. But like,
oh, yeah, understood.
I've been tangled up in some clothes before, and you know that weird feeling of like, oh, I'm being restricted. You just kind of imagine like, what if the doll was doing it? We don't really know. She doesn't really catch the doll doing it, but it's just kind of a weird detail like, is the doll doing it? Did a doll jump in bed and try to like strangle her or something like that? But she does awake in the morning to find that the doll, Mr. Wood, who she put in the closet, is now back, sitting beside Mr. Slappy with his arm around him like they're old chums about to go on a fishing trip, holding a fishing pole like Dylan does. Incorrectly. Oh. Dum, dum, dum!
2 days pass. There might have been a lot of flapping in that take, potentially.
Your bird got excited.
She has a 4-foot vertical jump. Like, I've seen her jump straight up in the air before, which is a weird thing to watch a bird do. Like, you expect them to fly. 2 days pass. Mr. Wood has been good. Oh, I hate that sentence. Those words that kind of almost rhyme, so you kind of want to force it. You want to be like, wood. Wait, good, wood. Good. That does rhyme. That does rhyme. I just say things funny. Rhyme. Oh, thank God. Oh.
Yeah, you were just being Boston for half of that sentence.
Yeah, and that threw things off. I also have aphasia. So, Lindy is proof that it's all about luck in show business. Like, yeah, she's got talent, maybe. We don't know that she does. Like, we're dealing with a bunch of plebeians who say she's good. Like, I feel like she could be moving her mouth the entire time, and the marshals would be like, yeah, woo, look at that puppet talk. How does she make the mouth move? Like, that's probably what's really going on here. She's half a step away from being stoned for witchcraft. That's what's going on in this town. And yet Kris is so much worse than her that everyone's like, nah, that doesn't even look good. But Lindy comes up to Kris. He's like, so a spring concert. Yeah, I guess that's something. I mean, it's a school spring concert. It's just recorders and triangles and those wooden blocks that you scrape across.
Yeah.
Just
it's not Coachella.
No, but you know the producer of Channel 3, Debbie? You know Debbie no. I know Debbie at Channel 3. She was at one of my birthday parties, and she said I might be good enough to go on their talent search show, but, you know, I told them I'd call them. Gotta let these TV people wait. I don't want them to think you're too eager. And then she just walks out the door, which just proves how much of a shithead Lindy really is. Because Lindy is doing well. She's doing great. Everything is coming up Lindy. And then she's like, oh, could I cause pain too? Like, she has no reason to do what she's going to do, but she's doing it anyway.
And poor Kris, just stunned with jealousy. Just like, oh my God. I can imagine the boiling heat. Like, you know that when you get that, like, you know, you get that feeling in your nose, like you've been tapped on the end of the nose. When you get so mad, you can just kind of feel like it's like the funny bone of your nose. You just feel anger in your face. I feel like that's where she's at. She's just seething.
Well, she makes a mistake because she gets angry, and, you know, people who got tempers, we know you take it out on an inanimate object. So she's frustrated. She takes Mr. Wood and she just checks him onto the floor. I imagine, like, hard enough to bounce, even though he's just wood and cloth. And immediately she's like, oh, huh. The creepy thing is like she looks down at him and he's got a creepy dummy face, but her eyes, like she thinks that his eyes go cold or that he's judging her and that there's no forgiveness in them, which is a terrifying thing to read in a children's book. Like that's one of those things that's kind of like unsettling. Like there was no forgiveness. Like, oh, cool. So she apologizes to him, but like Mr. Wood is just not saying anything because he's a dummy. Time passes. She goes to bed, wakes up in the middle of the night, needs a drink, bit of the hair of the dog that bit her last night. So tall glass
drunk on water?
Tap water, yeah. Listen, if you drink too much tap water, you gotta pee, and then you need to drink more water because you're thirsty again. That's how it works. It's like a child's hangover, basically.
Okay.
Anyway, now we cut to Lindy. She's asleep in bed because she's been busy, needs to rest up for what's about to happen next. She hears the scream from downstairs. So just Kris's blood-curdling scream, and Lindy shoots up awake, and dun dun dun.
And what's interesting about that is I don't think we ever get like there's a very brief part of the book where you're from Lindy's perspective, because I think you're Kris most of the time, or and at least
it's around
third
here,
party,
isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's right there. Like when she hears the scream from downstairs, you hear that, you see that from Lindy's. Well,
no, I know what you're talking about.
It's too, without Kris around, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of times where, like, but it's very few times where it's like Lindy looked at Kris and she's like, "God, I hate you." Yeah, like you very rarely get to see inside her head, but like usually it is something like, "She is such a copycat." Like the inside of her head is barren, but for hate.
Right. So typically the book follows Kris, but here we get to follow Lindy because she hears a scream from downstairs. So she runs downstairs, Lindy does. She runs into the kitchen. It's dark in the kitchen. She sees a source of light. It's the fridge. The fridge is open, but the fridge is empty? What? And then she looks over. She sees her twin sister, Kris, against the wall, just looking on in horror. Looking at the same thing she's looking at. Terrified. What is happening? What is going on with the food? Were we robbed? Someone steal our food? Which would terrify me. That would be the scariest thing I could imagine, is waking up in the middle of the night. My family dead, whatever. The fridge is empty. What?
I was, because it was taking a while to get to what had happened. And she's like, all right, the fridge is empty. That's weird. That is a very weird thing. But what's happening? What is happening?
Yeah. So that's not all. All of the fridge's contents have been dumped into the floor. Can you imagine the mess? I think about what's in my fridge right now. Just a lot of leftovers, a lot of leftover pastas and macaroni salads and sandwich fixins and all these things.
2 things of heavy cream soups in my fridge right now. Just thinking about that spread all over the floor. Getting warmer.
Goppity, just getting warmer. Yeah. So it's in a pile, all of the food in the middle of the floor. And among the food is, sprinkled in among the food is Kris's own jewelry. Necklaces, glints of little earrings and bracelets, glittery things just scattered about, mixed in with all of this mess. And she describes it as like some kind of bizarre salad, which I thought was kind of fun. And in the middle, sitting atop the mound of mess, like a king upon a filthy throne, is Mr. Wood. He's sitting there grinning. I'm going to say shit-eating grin right in the middle of the mess. And I'm going to read a bit here. This is the last bit of this chapter 12. "Oh, no!" Lindy shrieked as her eyes came to rest on the figure on the floor. Sitting upright in the middle of the mess was Mr. Wood, grinning gleefully at her. He had several strands of beads around his neck, long dangling earrings hanging from his ears, and a platter of leftover chicken on his lap. Dum, dum, dum.
This is actually the first cliffhanger where I feel like something bad has actually happened afterwards, and that's Mom finds out. Because right now, the situation is under control. Like, kids can fix this mess, but Mom hits the lights. And strangely is
that's terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, God. Just... Nothing like waking your mom up with screams for her to come down and be like, what? Why is the kitchen destroyed? We can't eat this week. I'm hope you're happy because we had to buy you a dummy. So no room for money for food, and the food that we had is dead. So
dead.
It's dead. So both Kris and Lindy are the dummy did it, and Mom is. Are you serious right now? It is 3:00 in the morning, and you're telling me that you're like I just. So I feel like the mom is alternating between white hot fury and just world weariness, like that kind of mix of emotions you have when you find a giant mess in your kitchen at 3:00 in the morning. Regardless if you're two borderline sociopathic twins with bleached blonde hair and cold ice eyes.
Did you do The Shining on us? Did you?
I was doing actually Village of the Damned. Have you seen that?
Oh, I've not seen that. No.
Yeah. It's an interesting story. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But there's a lot of back and forth. But Mom's like, no, listen, I'm going to give you one more chance. Which one of you did this? Mr. Wood. All right. And so Mom is just like, I'm done with the dummies. I'm done with all of this. And in the first moment that Amaya brought order to this household, she takes the dummies and I'm just taking these away from you. You can't have them back. We're done because you can't even acknowledge that one of you did this or tell me which one of you did this. Like she has to be going crazy thinking like, why is Kris or like one of them should be narking on the other right now? Did they both do this?
Right.
And what's the point if they're both doing this? Who are they pranking? What is like as the mom? She has to be like, what is this? Why is this happening?
Right. And at some point, she's like, I don't really care because this mess, my anger and the amount of upset I am of this mess sort of trumps how upset I am at you. I want this. If this mess is cleaned up, I'll forgive everything.
They also have to buy more groceries with their allowance, which is like, where does your allowance come from? Like, oh, Mom, don't worry. We'll take that money that you give to us and then we'll give it back to you. Like, I don't.
Right.
I guess.
And how is your allowance paying for like $250 worth of groceries? I mean, it's a house with 4 people.
Well, Lindy's making bank, so. And
that is true.
Why would Mom cut her off at the knees right when she's getting started? You want to milk your child star for as much as they're worth because they're probably not going to make it before the drugs to take them down. So, like, don't take the dummy away.
The old McCulkin.
Yeah.
I said McCulkin. I basically just crammed his first and last name together. But we all knew what I was talking about.
Yeah. Did we?
Yeah, we did. McCulkin.
So. They spend a considerable amount of time cleaning up the mess, because the mom finally is like, fine, whatever, just so I can go to bed, because that's really what this is about. She doesn't want to have this discussion anymore. That's why she gives in. I'm going to bed. Kris tosses Mr. Wood into her closet, not learning from the first time she threw him into the floor.
Yeah.
Shuts the door.
Lay that guy down gently.
Yeah. We'll put a little pillow under that head. And she goes to bed. But then, right before she falls asleep, she hears a voice saying, "Let me out of here." Oh, he's going to talk like a dock worker. There we go. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, Kris hears, "Let me out of here," from the closet. Oh, man. That can't be good. He just destroyed the kitchen. Now he's talking to me. Oh, geez. So she wakes up Lindy. Lindy! Tells her about the voice. But Lindy's like, I don't What are you talking about? Go back to bed. You're just upset. Go back to bed. What? And Kris breaks down, just starts crying like, what is happening? My friggin' doll's nutso. What's happening? I'm scared of this dummy, Lindy. You don't understand. This is terrorizing me. And Lindy calms Kris down. And this is where she gets cold, sinister. She says, Kris, shh, it's okay, sis. Listen, hey, don't cry. It's okay. Listen, I know who's been doing all of this. Dum, dum, dum.
She leans in real close and whispers into her ear, "It was me. I was on the grassy knoll."
Did this surprise you when you read the book or when you were taking this in?
When I was reading, so I didn't remember this, but like I don't really, I kind of stayed away from this one as a kid. I think I read it like once for some reason and never again. So I don't actually remember what my response to it was as a child, actually. But so I kind of figured it was Lindy because of how it's being set up. Is like it's escalating a little too quickly for it to be the dummy. So I'm guessing it's actually a red herring here. What about you? Did you think it was?
I was a little surprised. I mean, we're right around the teens chapters, which is most of the time when the evil thing finally comes into light. So I was kind of like, okay, it's been the doll. But I was waiting for Lindy to be like in the know that it's been Mr. Slappy. Mm-hmm. Or been Slappy.
Yeah,
the
that's
whole time.
what I was thinking was that so I think what happened in my brain was I read the back of the book, which says Kris gets Slappy, or Lindy gets Slappy, and then Kris gets another doll, and then bad things happen. I was thinking in my head that because I know Slappy's the bad dummy from Goosebumps, that Slappy was framing Mr. Wood throughout the book as being the bad dummy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And in hindsight, that's a weird thing. Like, if Slappy wanted to get rid of Mr. Wood, why would he concoct this elaborate thing to be like, he's really alive? And that kind of draws the spotlight onto Mr. Slappy, onto Slappy. So that'd be weird for him to be yeah. Because he could exist forever as long as no one realized he was alive. Like, he could just have full run in the place. So I kind of figured it was Lindy. And I kind of got stuck in the headspace of, Kris, come on, man. Use your common sense. I know dummies really can come to life in your universe, but you have no evidence of that. Really.
Right. I think it's a good twist, too, because throughout their books, the companion or the other kid, I guess other than Sari, but Sari was just more obnoxious, but has never been this villainous. Oh, you get the Bamer twins who are jerks, but they're already described as jerks. Lindy's just a twin that lives in the house. You kind of expect her to be a brat sometimes, but this was cold-blooded. This is I set you up. I destroyed our house. I slapped you. I tried to make you feel like you were crazy. This is over the top.
And she just danced up to the line of acceptable fuckery. The fridge is going a little far. But it was only replaceable goods. And I feel like Lindy was oh, gotta pull this back. Mom, we'll pay for everything. Don't you worry, Mom.
Yeah, that was another thing too that she did. If she was being very menacing, she did sort of defend. I guess it came down to Mom's going to take both dolls away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, yeah, well, I'll help her clean up. But
because Lindy's the one who because Kris is I don't want my dummy anymore. But Lindy still wants Slappy. She knows Slappy's not an evil dummy. So it's funny how just Machiavellian Lindy comes across, because she's very emotionally manipulative throughout the book, all throughout, just her interactions and the way that she kind of plays off of her parents sometimes too is a little this seems a little calculated. right now. Like
Yeah.
the fact that she
dark.
managed to get her mom out of a tailspin of taking their toys away was a little like, huh. But yeah, and she fesses up to all of it, and she doesn't even seem slightly remorseful either. Like she caused her sister to break down in tears, thinking that she was being terrorized by a living doll, and she's not even slightly repentant. She's just like, gotcha, and then she just leaves. She's just cool. Or she doesn't leave. She just goes back to bed and falls asleep immediately, I think. And Kris is just
I think this is where the book actually got good for me. Like, it was a very slow draw up or wind up for this one where I was like, just doll stuff I didn't care about and I wasn't buying. But when I realized that one of the kids was a maniac, I was like, oh, this is good. No wonder people gravitate to this one. This one's got a lot.
I'll tell you how I feel about this book later. But Kris then, the final moment of this is Kris is like, I will never speak to Lindy again. And her final thought as she goes to sleep, her final thought as she goes to sleep is, how is she going to get her back? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Already plotting that revenge as she goes off to sleep. I don't blame her. I probably would have been too. I would have been thinking of all of the ways I would dismember Slappy and leave him strewn about her bed. But a few days pass. Okay. We don't get the fumes off this fight, really. A few days pass, and Kris is walking home from school alone. Mom and Dad are both gone, so she's a latchkey kid. She has to go and unlock the house, let herself in. Lindy's probably at some after-school activity. And I think she was walking home with Cody earlier, and Cody even asked her, like, hey, are you and Kris still talking? Are you and Lindy talking? And she's like, I mean, not really. You know, like, I wouldn't either, personally. I get it. But she had not forgiven Lindy, wasn't speaking to her. Mom was upset by the whole thing with the fridge. No more dummies allowed downstairs. You play with them upstairs. Shy of just throwing them into an incinerator, she's like, you leave them upstairs. Do not bring them downstairs.
That mom always wanted to be a pageant mom. Let's be honest. That is definitely the mom who's just like, oh, come here, little John Bonet, Lindy. Let's start your career on the talent circuit. And it ends badly, as it always does. But they also say, too, that, like, oh, no, Mom talked to Dad, and he's pissed, too. So, like, they're just like, Dad doesn't want to see those dummies anywhere near us, either. So it's basically...
Right.
Although they kind of break their own rule pretty quickly, I feel like. But anyway.
They do, yeah. And you're right. It seems like the parents are fine with them having the dummies as long as they can have some success with them. They just don't want to see them downstairs.
It's almost like not having firm rules that they consistently enforce has created just a two-headed monster. But
yeah, a
I'm not a parent,
manipulative
so I'm
psychopath.
going to stay away from that.
Sure, no, it's all good. So Kris takes this opportunity, since no one's in the house. Oh, I'm going to rehearse with my dummy. I don't have to worry about Mom and Dad. I don't have to worry about Lindy giving me a hard time. And as she's getting ready to rehearse with him, she finds a little note in his pocket on a little piece of paper. She's like, was this the receipt or something? I didn't know this was it. I haven't seen this before, this little piece of paper. And she pulls it out, unfurls it, reads it, and there's something written on it, not in a language she recognizes. And it's spelled out as Karu Mari Odana Loma Malunu Karano. Something along those lines. It's written out here. R.L. Stine took the time to give us some fun sounding words there. And she reads them out loud, and she's like, I don't know what language that is. And then she just folds up the piece of paper and shoves it back in his pocket and gets back to rehearsing. And later that day, everybody's back home, and Dad shouts from downstairs, like you said, immediately breaking that rule about no dummies downstairs. The Millers have come over, the old neighbors from next door. And I love the way R.L. Stine, he's done it again. The way he describes very old couples looking exactly alike cracks me up.
What did they say for their hair? Is like two blobs of spongy pink hair on their heads or something? I can't remember what.
He has a lot of fun with that. So yeah, they apparently the Millers look alike. And Dad thinks, a good way to entertain these old people. They like when kids do stuff. I'll get the girls to come down here with their dummies and give them a little show. So he yells upstairs, hey, girls, get your dummies. Come on down here. They're like, really? I thought you didn't want us to do that. And then he's like, no, this time it's fine. The Millers won't see him. So he's like, all right, well, we'll bring them down there. And so they go bring their dummies downstairs, put on a little show. Dad's talking them up too. He's like, Lindy, go first. You guys are going to love this. The girls are great. They're great. A little shits with the dolls. They ruined the refrigerator. We had to buy $400 worth of groceries. But they're very funny with these dolls. And so Lindy goes first, does a great job. Again, like you said, we don't hear any of her bits. But the Millers are cackling. They love it. There might be like a couple jokes in there that we get, but we get the idea that Lindy's a professional. She just nails it, man. And then Kris goes second, and Kris's experience, it does not go nearly as well. And I'm going to read that excerpt here. It's a long excerpt, but it is worth it, folks. So Kris took her place on the chair and sat Mr. Wood up in her lap. This is Mr. Wood, she told the Millers. We're going to be the host of the spring concert at school tomorrow, so I'll give you a preview of what we're going to say. That's a nice-looking dummy, Mrs. Miller said quietly. You're a nice-looking dummy, too, Mr. Wood declared in a harsh, raspy growl of a voice. Kris's mother gasped. The Millers' smiles faded. Mr. Wood leaned forward in Kris's lap and stared at Mr. Miller. Is that a mustache, or are you eating a rat? He asked nastily. Mr. Miller glanced uncomfortably at his wife, then forced a laugh. And they both laughed. Don't laugh so hard. You might drop your false teeth, Mr. Wood shouted. And how do you get your teeth that disgusting shade of yellow? Does your bad breath do that? Kris!
Sorry, I thought that was a good one, actually.
That was a good one. Kris! Mrs. Powell shouted. That's enough. The Millers' faces were bright red now, their expressions bewildered. That's not funny. Apologize to the Millers, Mr. Powell insisted, crossing the room and standing over Kris. I didn't say any of it, Kris stammered. Really, Kris, apologize, her father demanded angrily. Mr. Wood turned to the Millers. I'm sorry, he rasped. I'm sorry you're so ugly. I'm sorry you're so old and stupid, too. The Millers stared at each other unhappily. I don't get her humor, Mrs. Miller said. It's just crude insults, Mr. Miller replied quietly. Kris, what is wrong with you? Mrs. Powell demanded. She had crossed the room to stand beside her husband. Apologize to the Millers right now. I don't believe you. Gripping Mr. Wood tightly around the waist, Kris rose to her feet. She tried to utter an apology, but no words would come out. Sorry, she finally managed to scream. Then, with an embarrassed cry, she turned and fled up the stairs, tears streaming down her face. Dum, dum, dum.
So what's interesting is we never... When we, like, after Kris said... revealed that, or after Lindy revealed that she had been pranking Kris with the living dummy, and she's like, I'm gonna get her back for this. You don't know what her plan is, or if she's come up with a plan. Like, a few days pass, so like this could be like, oh, is Kris trying to do a switcheroo, like flip the script on her, like, you have the magic spell thing or whatever. But like this could still be like Kris is reciprocating, but she knows she has to up the ante. She can't like make messes or whatever. She's got to like, take it to the Millers, because like the more crazy she acts, the more believable it is that the dummy's going crazy, like, or that it's alive. So she's got to, if she wants Lindy to bite on this fish hook that's simmering in the water, she's got to really bait the hook with some juicy dabbles. I don't know fishing at all, apparently. I think I knew more about fishing before I started talking. Anyway, but like Kris is upset, which, kind of maybe, is she upset? Is she the spawn of Satan as Lindy is? Because Lindy's not buying it. Lindy's like, I've seen this song and dance. I wrote this song and choreographed this dance, and now you're playing it back at me and expecting me to believe it. No, sir. So Lindy's going to go practice. Kris doesn't know if she's going to be able to do a concert the next night because she's been grounded for doing a phenomenal act. Like, honestly.
It was funny. I laughed a lot.
Like, just a banger job. I just loved it. Like, the Millers have no sense of humor. But,
True. I mean, they laughed for a second. They were like, kind of that nervous, like, wow, okay, it's different.
This is what the kids are into.
Then it got personal about their teeth.
That breath line, though, just beautiful. And worst thing of all, Lindy might be taking her spot at the spring concert.
Yeah.
But,
because, I mean, Dad's probably going to ground her for life over that. I mean, you just made the Millers, you just embarrassed the family.
Yeah, in front of the Millers. The Millers aren't going to be around for much longer, and you can just be like, oh, yeah, you know how they are. They're, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Our daughter didn't do anything wrong. But Kris is like, you know what? I need to do this concert. I signed a contract. I gave him a promise. And my promise is my bond, Dad. And so she goes to the concert with her dummy. You raised a good point.
In my commentary, this is me like, why? Why? You just had your dummy take over for you and ruin everything. Why would you still trust it? Why would you go to the spring concert with this dummy? I might switch to Slappy. I might be like, listen, can I borrow Slappy for the spring concert? Because my dummy, honest to God, possessed by Satan.
Yeah, it's a moment that like makes sense if Kris is pulling a Lindy and she's doing a prank. But if she actually thinks, I think I know what it actually is. I think Kris doesn't know what ventriloquism is. And so she thinks that it's actually maybe possible that occasionally the dummy takes over. Like, that's how ventriloquism works. Like, you get so good at ventriloquism, you don't even know it's you. Like, I think that's...
you might be right. Because I'm concerned about not much Kris. Else fits. Yeah, logically, not much else fits. I kind of feel like this is a little bit of an oversight. Like, this is... R.L. Stine's usually pretty good about the kids questioning certain bits of logic, but this is never even questioned. She just goes to the concert. She's never like, maybe I shouldn't because my dummy's possessed. None of that. There's not even a mention of a thought. She just does it after the dummy verbally assaults the Millers hilariously.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she's just hoping, like, let's be honest, her material's not that good. We still haven't heard... We've heard one of Kris's lines, and it was pretty bad. It was awful, actually. It was bad. So she didn't write Mr... That's the clearest sign that it's actually a different person doing those lines, because Mr. Wood...
Right. Just what's funny.
Hit after hit after hit after hit. Like, good delivery, good build up to like, hey, your yellow teeth and your bad breath. Ha. And then like his apology.
It's like the Andrew Dice Clay of puppets.
Exactly.
Like you said.
Yeah.
You told me that in
That was literally as I was reading the audiobook. I was like, oh shit. Andrew Dice Clay, get it, the Millers. But anyway, you forgot that Kris does tell Mr. Wood, no insults tonight. So she does put a stop to it before it can get out of hand. Like that's her.
Yeah. She does kind of mention that.
I don't mean you literally forgot. I know you put it in the notes. I'm saying like you were like, oh, Kris is crazy. But I'm saying like she did tell him no insults tonight. So, you know, that's
she still has like no reservations about it. She's like,
but because she said we're not doing the insult thing tonight. That was yesterday night. Tonight we're doing like more crowd work, a little patter work, some improv. We're not doing insult comedy tonight. She's letting him know.
I'm sure the demented dummy will be like, right, okay, yeah, okay, right.
Listen,
right.
She was trying out something new the other night, and the Millers didn't like it. She understands, you know, not everything's for everybody. Wrong time, wrong audience, right material, or other way around.
Right, material.
Anyway, so Mr. Wood blinks to let her know that he knows that they're doing crowd work tonight, insult comedy on Saturday night at the Bone. They used to be Funny Bone, like the sign fell down like back in the 80s, so they just called it the Bone after that, and everyone was like, cool.
Now it's just the Bone.
Yeah, now it's just the Bone. But anyway, so he blinks. He understands. Also, he's not able to blink, so that should be just immediately. He's doing something he's physically incapable of doing. They say multiple times that the dummies can't blink, that they can only look side to side, that that's the only eye controls that they have. And the dummy blinks at her without her doing anything. And she's like, cool, glad we're in agreement? Let's go. So she goes out on the stage. And it is insane. There was a couple of times where I was like, is this a dream? Like, is this a dream situation? And I just missed a couple of lines and like,
right?
No, everything that I'm about to read happens to Kris.
Yeah.
Also poor.
It did feel like the eating bones moment of the first book. It's that surreal.
Can I do this? Her heart was pounding so hard she couldn't hear Mrs. Berman's introduction. Then suddenly, the audience was applauding, and Kris found herself walking across the stage to the microphone, carrying Mr. Wood in both hands. Mrs. Berman, her flowery dress flowing around her, was heading off stage. She smiled at Kris and gave her an encouraging wink as they passed each other. Squinting against the bright spotlight, Kris walked to the middle of the stage. Her mouth felt as dry as cotton. She wondered if she could make a sound. A folding chair had been set up for her. She sat down, arranging Mr. Wood on her lap, then realized that the microphone was much too high. "Are you having trouble?" Mrs. Berman called from the side of the stage. She hurried over to help Kris. But before the music teacher got halfway across the stage, Mr. Wood leaned into the microphone. "What time does the blimp go up?" he rasped nastily, staring at Mrs. Berman's dress. "What?" She stopped in surprise. "Your face reminds me of a wart I had removed," Mr. Wood growled at the startled woman. Her mouth dropped open in horror. "Kris!" "If we count your chins, will it tell us your age?" There was laughter floating up from the audience, but was mixed with gasps of horror. "Kris, that's enough!" Mrs. Berman cried, the microphone picking up her angry protest. "You're more than enough! You're enough for two!" Mr. Wood declared nastily. "If you got any bigger, you'd need your own zip code." "Kris, really? I'm going to ask... Kris, really, I'm going to ask you to apologize," Mrs. Berman said, her face bright red. Mrs. Berman, I'm not doing it," Kris stammered. "I'm not saying these things." "Please apologize, to me and to the audience." "For good material? Why would you don't apologize for that," Mrs. Berman demanded. Mr. Wood leaned into the microphone. "Apologize for this!" he screamed. The dummy's head tilted back, his jaw dropped, his mouth opened wide, and a thick green liquid came spewing out. "Yuck!" someone cried. It looked like pea soup. It spurted up out of Mr. Wood's open mouth like water rushing from a fire hose. Voices screamed and cried out their surprise as the thick green liquid showered over the people in the front rows. "Stop it! Help! Somebody turn it off! It stinks!" Kris froze in horror, staring as more and more of the disgusting substance poured from her dummy's gaping mouth. A putrid stench, the smell of sour milk, of rotten eggs, of burning rubber, of decayed meat, rose up from the liquid. It puddled over the stage and showered over the front seats. Blinded by the spotlight, Kris couldn't see the audience in front of her, but she could hear the choking and the gagging, the frantic cries for help. "Clear the auditorium! Clear the auditorium!" Mrs. Berman was shouting. Kris heard the rumble and scrape of people shoving their way up the aisles and out the doors. "It stinks! I'm sick! Somebody help!" Kris tried to clamp her hand over the dummy's mouth, but the force of the putrid green liquid frothing and spewing out was too strong. It pushed her hand away. Suddenly she realized she was being shoved from behind, off the stage, away from the shouting people fleeing from the auditorium, out of the glaring spotlight.
Wow.
This is gross. Like, this whole thing is pretty, intense. You've got Kris. I'm going to say she was bombing. She bombed on her first. Yeah. And so Mrs. Berman gets her off the stage. I guess being removed from stage, Mr.
Literally,
Wood is like,
kind of.
Oh, well, I can't do my party trick anymore, but tuck that away. And Mrs. Berman gets her off stage and tells her that she's going to have her suspended for life. Dun, dun, dun. Academic career over.
For life. Man, that's heavy when you're like in 6th, 7th grade. But back home, I feel like the parents are avoidance coping this madness. I mean, this is a catastrophe in the home. This is rough. I mean, what you just read is terrifying. People were traumatized. Kris probably as well, even if she is the culprit. But back home, Mr. Wood gets thrown in the closet again. Like, just put this thing away. Just put him in the closet. I don't even know how you get pea soup in that thing. It's crazy. Put it in the closet.
How did you do this?
And no one wants to talk to Kris. They're too angry. The parents they're not even like, why'd you do this? What's wrong with you? Are you okay? Why would you do this? How did you do this? How? When did you buy pea soup? They don't bring it. They're just like, we'll talk about this tomorrow. We're too upset to face you. Your dog goes in the closet. You go to bed. Kris can't go to sleep. She's too upset because she didn't do anything. She went out on stage and her doll exploded into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles gag. It's like a ooze all over the place. It was wild. And now the dad makes a point of throwing Mr. Wood in the closet, and he also makes the comment like, it's too bad the closet doesn't lock, but we're just going to throw it in there anyway. And so Kris can't sleep, tossing and turning.
He asked her, like, does this closet lock? And she's like, no. He's like, well, good enough. That's the parenting in this household. It's like, we got 75% of the way there. We'll leave the dummy in an unlocked closet. That's like taking it away from her, right? Like, kind of. In her room?
Yeah. He's, Dad's inconsistent. But, Kris can't sleep. And in the middle of the night, while she's tossing and turning, trying to get to sleep, she hears rustling, footsteps. She even sees shadows moving. Gosh, shit, not this again. But she gets out of bed to inspect, and she sees a figure kind of go past the bed and through the bedroom. So she bravely follows it outside her room. Where's this little figure going? Clearly, it's got to be the doll. There's no question. She keeps calling it a figure, but we know what it is. I guess it could potentially be Lindy. She's pulled one over on us before, but we don't think so. She follows it outside her room, and at the top landing of the steps, she reaches out to it, puts her hand on the figure. Is it going to be E.T.? Is E.T. going to turn around? No. Mr. Wood turns and looks back at her. Oh, shit. Dum bum.
I figure, I guess R.L. Stine at this point is like, cat's out of the bag. The dummy's evil. So, like, Kris goes, like, they start to tussle. Like, she's, getting some moves in. Like, he's hissing and growling at her, which I didn't even know puppets could do.
Yeah, and again, I thought to The Exorcist, as like a lot of the same sounds and mannerisms, I concocted those. I pulled from that movie to fill this narrative in, and it works well.
Yeah, it's not great because of the whole thing.
She spewed green. Fuck. She spewed green. It works. I think he drew from The Exorcist for some of the dummy anyway.
No, I think even at one point, like, they turn his head all the way around, right, trying to pull it off or something. Yeah. So, like, it's definitely. It's like The Exorcist for children.
Kind of. I mean, kind of, yeah. It's close enough.
Yeah. So he manages to, like, try and get away, but she's got a hold of him, and she tosses him back into the closet that doesn't lock, Kris. But he manages to get free and, like, just fucking, like, socks her in the belly.
Dude,
like,
he does. He punches a kid.
Knocks the wind out of her.
This is the second time a kid's been hit in this book by a dummy.
Although this time it actually was the dummy.
Right, not just Lindy.
Last time it was Lindy hiding domestic abuse with a puppet. But then Lindy showed... no, actually, sorry, I missed the best part of this. Is cocky little fucker, because he gets one good punch off, and he's like, I'm in charge now. And I can almost, like, picture Freddy saying a lot of his stuff, too, to be honest with you. Like he gabs like Freddy Krueger.
Now, I'm curious, Dylan. You said you listened to the audiobook. Did the voice actor do anything fun with the dummy voice?
She actually kind of did for all of it, even when Mr. Wood was talking, or Slappy was actually not that Slappy talks in this book, wink. But when, like, Mr. Wood, she actually did, like, kind of a clenched as if a ventriloquist was doing their voice kind of thing. So it'd be, the whole like, I'm in charge now. So it's kind of more like that.
I gotcha. So that works. That works.
Yeah. And for the first half of the book, it is children doing the voice, so it makes sense to.
Yeah.
But then she's just like, well, I can't change it up at like chapter 19. But then Lindy shows up, turns on the hall light, and it's like, how do you like the improvements I've made to Mr. Wood? Now he's more powerful than... No, it's actually not Lindy this time. She's just a little befuddled. She's like, Kris, you're having a nightmare. Come back to bed. You're probably having traumatic nightmares about your dummy because for weeks I tormented you. That was a good joke, though, right?
Yeah, those nightmares, you're going to have those for 11 years at least.
Even before the dummy actually came to life, that was already going to be a foregone conclusion. But Kris is like, he's alive! Mr. Wood's alive! Get Mom and Dad! And Lindy's just like, come on, what are you doing? But then Mr. Wood pulls him up by the banister because he's done playing the dummy. He's not a fool. And Lindy, jaw drop.
She sees this, yeah.
Shocked.
She actually sees it. She's like, oh, shit.
Lindy books it to get Mom and Dad, who apparently live on the other, like in the west wing of the mansion, because it takes her a while to get back.
Right? I'm always confused. These houses and these two-story ranch-style homes in R.L. Stine's universe are massive.
Well, the basements are at least the size of like a parking garage.
Well, the attic had like a whole hidden Airbnb in it in the last book.
That you could get 6 sweaty children in and no one was complaining. Yeah. And then the mom came in there too.
And the dog. Oh. Everybody was in there.
Yeah,
and the dog. 3 dark versions of everybody else. Yeah, it was crazy. The fire marshal was pissed.
They were actually in the attic of the house next door at that point. They just didn't know. Which makes more sense because that was the house of the mad scientist. You guys found my mirror. But Kris is... I don't know if Kris was like the more athletic twin because she just goes for the body tackle and like takes him down. She pins him down with her foot, and I kind of love the idea of just like Kris standing on top of him
while he's
foot planted on his chest. Yeah, and just like... Wah! And she's like, Mom and Dad are about to they're going to see evidence that I'm not crazy this time. Done, done, done. Victorious.
Right. We wish. The dummy not so dumb. Dummy goes limp right when Mom and Dad appear, just lifeless on the ground. It just looks like Kris is just standing with her foot on her dummy in the middle of the night screaming. Which at this point, if you are the parents, get this girl help. You saw the show just hours before. You put the dummy away. She's gotten it back out. Now she's fake wrestling it in the living room. This is a situation you need to take care of. But they're like, wow, you're crazy. And they're like, you've lost your mind. And they kind of have a bit of a conversation about it, and then they just go to bed. Like, Lindy half-heartedly defends Kris. She's like, no, I think it was alive. I think for a minute there I saw it moving and stuff like that. And they're like, whatever. This has gone way too far. Are you trying to be funny right now? It's in the middle of the night. Put it up. And they just give up. We're going back to bed. And I don't even think they tell the girls to go back to bed. They're just like, we're out.
No, they're over it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to know what kind of conversation they had to have down at that mall when they picked up their daughter in the puke. But I bet it wasn't like a 10-minute. Like, I don't think this was just like, we think that maybe we need to get Kris some hobbies, like just something. She has an overactive brain. Like maybe no. This was just like, have you heard of the show Scared Straight? Because we think she might be a good fit.
Bikes. So
only added to her issues.
Yeah, but of course, right when Mom and Dad go back to bed, Mr. Wood, being the nut dummy that he ain't, or whatever, he comes back to life, starts fighting her again, tells the girls they're his slaves now. You're my slaves now. You must obey. And Kris, being curious and wanting to know the answer that we all want to know, hey, Mr. Wood, how are you alive? How are you alive? You're a dummy. He tells her, like, oh, you read the ancient words from that note. Remember the you remember that? You read that, and that brought me to life. I'm a cursed dummy. You read out the incantation. And thinking fast, Kris has an idea. She's like, maybe if I read him again, he'll go back down. So she reaches real quick, and before he can stop her, she grabs the paper out of his pocket, and she reads it again. I'm not going to read it again because I don't remember what page it's on. But it's hoping to undo this chaos. Dum, dum, dum.
I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, I thought we had a tree situation. Because, like, if they just read these words and he just collapses to the ground...
Disappointing.
I'm going to be disappointed. And luckily for me, Mr. Wood has a sense of humor about it because he's like, those are the words to bring me to life, not the words to kill me. Like, duh.
Yeah.
Like, it's two different spells, so you don't just... like, even Rumpelstiltskin, you had to, like, get his name and stuff. Like, it's not one thing.
At some point, I'm just going to have to trust that R.L. Stein's got me. Like, when I think I'm about to be disappointed, he's probably going to go the other way.
Oh, yeah. Unless it's the fact that Sari lived to the end of that book.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll never get that one back.
She didn't even learn the lesson. Sometimes the bullies don't learn their lesson. That's always very upsetting.
Which is a lesson in and of itself, right? Is it not?
Yep, that's how life is. The bullies always win. But Kris is like, you know what? I'm done with bullies. I'm going to respond to bullies the way they should be respond. We're going to have to kill him, Lindy.
I love that line.
Take his head.
I love that line. That was so 80s
And she goes
action.
straight for the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she doesn't just say like, oh, so let's smack him against the wall some more. She's like, you grab his body, I'll grab his head, and let's get to pulling. Like,
Yeah.
They just go immediately for like trying to rip his head off. But he's just laughing at them. He's like, I got powers. You can't just pull my head off or cut it off. And, you know, Kris is...
He says that a lot. He's like, I've
better
got
than
powers.
Allison.
And at some point right here, he went to Gilbert Gottfried to me. He went away from... I don't know why. It was no longer the extra... When he started taunting people, he was Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, so she's like trying to saw off his head, and then she hits him, and he's like, violence, violence, like that kind of thing, like a parrot, basically. Yeah. But then he starts getting like, listen, if you don't be my slaves, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to start killing. Like, I don't want to. Well, I do, but I don't want to have to. You understand? I want it to be my choice. So I might kill your parents. I might kill your friends. Cody or Riot. I'd kill him any day. You know what? I think I'm gonna kill the dog. And everyone who read Welcome to Dead House was like, oh no, not another dog. And so they you know what? They know not to negotiate with someone smaller than them. Pick them up, stuff them in a suitcase, and he's pretty mad about that situation. And they put it into the closet they can't lock for the third time. Dun dun dun.
It is true this closet gets a lot of action. You know, when you simplified that one time that Stay Out of the Basement was just kids running up and down the stairs a lot, this book is kids throwing things in the closet and going to bed a bunch. That's what this is. So anyway, Kris,
in and out.
Yeah, and I was impressed by the line, then I'll start hurting the ones you love. So yeah, I would have shoved his ass in a suitcase too, which I thought was a good move. I thought that was pretty smart. So they shove him in a suitcase, and Kris convinces Lindy, she thinks of this pretty fast. It's pretty smart. She's like, hey, remember the new construction down the street with the new house going up where we found your stupid fucking dummy? Would be a great idea if we took this suitcase full of hateful ass dummy over to that house and we buried it under a mound of dirt next door. Because there's mounds of dirt already. We just bury him in a big mound of dirt. Maybe he'll get cemented over. Maybe a steamroller will go over that mound of dirt, pack him in real good. We'll be done with this dummy. And they're like, great, it's a great idea. So they run out in the dark. It's early morning. There's dew on the ground. It's kind of, I mean, we've already fought in the middle of the living room in the early morning. So it's probably like 4 or 5:30 in the morning. And they go to find some shovels for digging. They select snow shovels, all they could find for some reason. I guess that'll do. And they bury him while he's still in the suitcase, just bitching. just in there, just screaming and bitching. It made me laugh a lot, actually, while I was reading the book, just imagining them carrying the suitcase with this evil-ass dummy, and they're just like, put me down, I hate you, ah, 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 and just kicking inside the suitcase. So he's just in there, he's just bitching. And they do the deed. They bury him. They dig a hole for a bit. You know, they're kids. I don't know how far down they get, but they dig pretty deep. He's in a suitcase. He's zipped up. And then they dust off their hands, walk back into the house, and go to sleep like the cold-blooded, dummy murdering killers they are. I'm proud of these girls. They did it. But we might not be done yet. At some point, Lindy was still sound asleep, and Kris tiptoed past her, pulled her robe on, and headed downstairs. "Morning, Mom," she called brightly, tying the belt to her robe as she entered the kitchen. Mrs. Powell turned from the sink to face her. Kris was surprised to see an angry expression on her face. She followed her mother's stare to the breakfast counter. "Oh," Kris gasped when she saw Mr. Wood. He was seated at the counter, his hands on his lap. His hair was matted with red-brown dirt, and he had dirt smears on his cheeks and forehead. Kris raised her hands to her face in horror. "I thought you were told never to bring that thing down here," Mrs. Powell scolded. "What do I have to do, Kris?" She turned angrily back to the sink. The dummy winked at Kris and flashed her a wide, evil grin. "That sumbitch is back." Bow, bow, bow. Chapter 23.
The parents and their parenting decide that they're going to go to the garden store.
Before it rains, Dylan. It's a big deal.
That's true. It's true. I mean, clearly one of their children is in the middle of a psychotic break. But yes, let's make sure we pick up some more spider plants. So Kris is alone in the kitchen with a dummy, and he turns to her and he's like, "I warned you," which is not great, because he warned her that he was going to kill her entire family and her dog. But Lindy shows up. She looks surprised, which I guess means she didn't dig him up. What if she dug him up again? What if she's just...
You do this to at the end of every book, you always find a way to make it weirder. I love it. But no, I don't think she did.
But Mr. Wood, he's like, you've been bad slaves, which is, I'm not liking the direction this is going, and they need to be punished. And so he jumps off the chair and he goes straight to Barky, and he wraps those very flexible but very strong wooden fingers around that dog's neck. The hyoid bone is just starting to creak inward.
Oh no.
Dun dun dun.
Oh no, not Barky. Please, not save the dog. Don't do it again, R.L. Stine. You know what it does to us kids. We'd rather
I feel like this is the second time we've seen Barky. I don't even think Barky's really been in the book since
no, he hasn't.
20 chapters.
But
I'm not saying I want him to die. I'm just saying, like, my heartstrings are just kind of like, I don't want a dog to die, but I don't
know this
feel
dog
like it for Barky.
Yeah,
I don't know Barky.
He hasn't been around much. Well, as he's strangling the dog, he says, "I warned you. The dog must die now." But Kris is our hero. She pries his hands free of the dog. Dog runs off. Barky gets away. Lindy grabs Wood's legs. Kris grabs his arms and Mr. Wood bites her. She manages to hold on. And Kris has this idea. Again, I'm amazed with these quick ideas, but she's like, you know what? Saw some steamrollers, because I remember when she woke up that morning, before she went downstairs to talk to Mom, she'd looked out her window and saw steamrollers over at the construction site. Now, what's interesting about this, they've already declared this is a Saturday. I don't know of many construction contractors or workers that put in the effort on a Saturday, but especially when it's about to rain.
A Saturday where it's supposed to rain. Yeah, exactly. Same place.
It's another tree situation. But anyway, she sees steamrollers at the construction next door, and she's like, maybe we should throw him in the path of one of these steamrollers. And to me, I'm like, well, I don't know if you can get over there and get, like, they're probably going to stop a steamroller if they see a kid running toward it, but you can try it. So it's raining already.
They're not paying attention. They've got their muffs on.
Listening to podcasts. Yeah.
Listen to podcast. Well, probably listen to heavy metal.
Back
These
then.
guys probably also have heavy metal T-shirts and they're listening. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. But it is raining. It's raining a lot, and so it's a great idea. She's going to go. Let's just go toss him in front of a steamroller and flatten his ass. And so they run out. They're slipping and falling in the rain, but they're not the only ones that run out the door. Barky happens to be right behind them. And as they make their way over to these steamrollers, the friggin' dog runs out in the path of a steamroller that is described as fast moving, something steamrollers not known to be doing. Oh, God. R.L. Stein, no, please not Barky. Down, down, down.
I was kind of on Barky's side for some reason. I was like, you know what, Barky? You do you. Run towards it. I don't.
What if the dog committed suicide and that's where the book stopped? And it's like, wait, what?
that's just the last chapter's gone. It's like, oh, all right. You know
I guess there will be a sequel?
Maybe. So Barky runs off as the girls, they decide we should save the dog, drop the dummy. I feel like you could still hold on to the dummy and chase after the dog. Like,
yeah, I mean, the dummy's probably kicking and biting. It'd probably be tough to do both, but yeah.
They'd never properly secure the dummy. Like, 2 belts and like some tape. Like, you know.
Put him back in another suitcase.
We don't know how strong he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's being restrained by 2 children. I feel like a couple wraps of duct tape would do the job, too. He's not that strong. You notice he went for the dog, not the parents, because he knew Dad would just, like, slap him against the kitchen counter and that'd be all he wrote. But a little terrier? Please. So, dog gets out of the way of the steamroller, probably because the dog has a couple more brain cells going on than most of these children. Mr. Wood is free. I feel like if he had the ability to move his fingers, he'd be flipping double deuces at them. And like, you'll pay for this. Kris is like, get him. I love how he describes it. I love that you put it in here too, because it's literally like he's booking it from that first steamroller. You can like see the sun breaking out in front of him. He's like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get free. And then R.L. Stein's like, Mr. Wood never saw the second steamroller. Which ran right over him. And
got his ass.
This is by far the best death scene in any of the Goosebumps books that we've read so far.
Yeah. I love it. I love that he didn't see it. It's so immediate. It's like, looks one way, oh, he dodges, he jukes. No, just obliterated by that second one that no one saw coming.
Even as an adult, I'm like, yeah, you crushed that dummy. Like,
it felt good.
Is the part that I'm reading, is that the death scene, or did you?
No, you don't read the death scene.
But it just talks about like the steamroller rocking as it goes over his body. Like, there's so much energy or mystical power that even the steamroller is shaking a little bit on its frame, and then, like, green gas is bursting out, and which makes it even funnier. When the steamroll driver stops, he stops after he's gone completely over it
and backs up. I think it says he backs up and goes over it again, like he does like a double take.
He jumps out and he's like, "Oh my God, did I just run over a child?"
Which is horrifying. Holy shit, that's terrifying.
I know. This is like the mirror end to the beginning of the book, where you at first, like, Kris is like, "Oh my God, did you pull the dead body of a child out of that dumpster?" And that goes on for a while too. It's like a paragraph of like Kris going like, "Is that a child? Do you have a dead child? Oh my God, it's lifeless." And then Lindy's like, "It's a dummy. It's wearing a bow tie. What is wrong with you? Like, it's painted on." And it's just the poor. I'm glad that the contractor guy was, because I could have easily been like, just immediately be like, "What is wrong?" Like, just turning the immense rage, because you have that feeling of like, "Oh my God, I killed a child," to, "Oh my God, so much relief. Thank God I didn't kill the child. Why did you do this to me?" Like, that just, he gets a little crabby at them. He's like, stop. What are you kids doing out here in the rain? He's like, "Chasing our living dummy that you just ran over. Did you not see the green smoke and the lightning and all the, like."
Yeah, they were like, we were walking our dog, and he was like, "Okay, cool. We'll just get on out of here." Like, he comes down from, "I just murdered a child," quickly. I would have been to pieces. I would have been on the ground crying.
Maybe what we're seeing is a couple of like scabs like doing a little union busting, and so these are the guys that got kicked out of union a long time ago because Tony doesn't always check his mirrors. Like
Doesn't always do it.
And Chris's explanation is just like, it's just, no, he was a dummy. He wasn't alive. And it's just like, do you mean like he's disabled and you're really awful? Like you're a bad person, Kris? And it's like, no. He's a wooden dummy.
But he was alive, Kris. He was. But you're not going to tell this.
Yeah.
You're not going to like, actually, okay, here's the story, steamroll drive operator. So we had a dummy who we thought was alive. He's just like, never mind. Gets back on his steamroller.
Yeah. You know what? That would be my reaction as well, I think. I just, you know what? Because he picks up a piece of it and it's like, he picks up his head and like turns to ash. Like it is more than just pressed. Like this is not a panini, really. It's because it's overcooked also, so it's like a burnt panini.
More paninis talk.
I'm kind of hungry. I could go for a panini, I think. But I'd like to read us out, as I always do, except I'm only reading us out the book, I guess, not the podcast. But I want to read us out again. Hey, I'm real sorry, the man said, wiping his forehead with his t-shirt sleeve as he straightened up to face them. I couldn't stop in time. That's okay, Kris said, a wide smile forming on her face. Yeah, really, it's okay, Lindy quickly agreed. Barky moved close to sniff the crushed dummy. The man shook his head. I'm so relieved. It looked like it was running. I really thought it was a kid. I was so scared. Nope, just a dummy, Kris told him. Whoa! The man exhaled slowly. Close one. His expression changed. What are you girls doing out in the rain, anyway? Lindy shrugged. Kris shook her head. Just walking the dog. The man picked up the crushed dummy. The head crumbled to powder as he lifted it. You want this thing? You can throw it in the trash, Kris told him. Better get out of the rain, he told them. And don't scare me like that again. Pausing here. Throw more dummies in front of his steamroller? Like,
what's the threat?
What? He just needs to feel like he's in control.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who he's dealing with. Kris and Lindy are...
Yeah.
Anyway. The girls apologized, then headed back to the house. Kris cast a happy grin at her sister. Lindy grinned back. I may grin forever, Kris thought. I'm so happy, so relieved. They wiped their wet sneakers on the mat, then held the kitchen door open for Barky. Wow, what a morning, Lindy declared. They followed the dog into the kitchen. Outside, a flash of bright lightning was followed by a roar of thunder. I'm drenched, Kris said. I'm going up to get changed. Me too, Lindy followed her up the stairs. They entered their bedroom to find the window wide open. The curtains slapping wildly. Rain pouring in. Oh no! Kris hurried across the room to shut the window. As she leaned over the chair to grab the window frame, Slappy reached up and grabbed her arm. Hey, slave! Is that other guy gone? The dummy asked in a throaty growl. Sorry, let me do that again, because that wasn't a throaty growl. I was going for a different voice for Slappy, but, Hey, guys! Hey, slave! Is that other guy gone? The dummy asked in a throaty growl. I thought he'd never leave. I'm also the steamroll driver.
Minus the last part about the steamroll driver. That's how that book ends. Hell of an ending. Not unexpected. We kind of expect Slappy to have some lively parts of this, but comes in right at the end, right when you're kind of feeling good about how it ended. He comes in, does a little grab.
But you know it's a goose bumper.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's a goose bumper, so there's going to be like a flower talking like that, or Compton Dawes is still alive. You know, there's always something.
Yeah, man. I love that stuff.
At the end.
I love that stuff. And so we know that Night of the Living Dummy has a couple sequels in the series, so we expect to see Slappy full force again. He plays a minor role in this first book. He's on the cover. He's on the cover of our very own podcast, but in this book, he doesn't really show up until the end. And menacing. And it's weird that he was shy around Mr. Wood. He's like, I don't do, when another dummy's doing his thing, I don't get in the way. I wait until he's gone, then I do my dummy thing.
That's because Mr. Wood is Kris's dummy, and Slappy is Lindy's dummy, and Lindy plays the long con, and Kris is the man of action. Because Kris is the one who took charge all at the end of the book. She's like, steamroller, boom,
Yeah.
like suitcase, boom, like she's the one who's like took action. She doesn't have a lot of like good long-term planning strategies, but she's good in the moment.
Great in the moment.
Like, I think she'd be great for improv.
Hell of a quarterback.
Yeah, I think she'd be fast on her feet.
Yeah. Good quarterback, not a coach. But yeah, no, you're right. It's wild. I like the ending. I don't know if I have strong favor with the entire book. I do find a lot of the bickering to be annoying. I mean, it's kids. It's a kid book. I mean, I get it. But for me, it took over half the book to get interesting. But when it did, I liked it.
I loved it. Like, just beginning to end.
You liked the whole thing?
I enjoyed the ride. Just, like, I'm not entirely, like, the fact that because in some ways it's just like, oh, we actually have 2 mini books in here, one of which is about Lindy the sociopath and one of which is about a living dummy. But I liked the kind of build up to these two. Of course, there's all me reading into like, oh, this is a terrible family, just like the others. Like, let's pick these people apart. And then once Lindy outed herself as being an actual monster,
that was fun.
I agree with you. That was a heightening because, like, oh my god, that is beyond the pale. It's kind of like a lot of times when you look back at movies that you grew up as a child and you're like, that was not a prank. That was a crime if that pulled off.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
An actual murder. No, I like the ride of it and the feel of it. Like, he's finding a way to make them texture them in interesting ways as he goes along. Like, I keep talking about Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, where there's so much interesting stuff that's happening to it. I just don't really care about the trappings. So it's kind of, I think it's like this, where it's not just up the stairs, down the stairs, or like, we've moved into this house and now we're going to have 5 interactions with creepy ghost children and then we have to escape. There's not a lot going on there plot wise either, but this is like all over, like talking about these 2 girls and getting an idea of how awful one of them is and how neat, like both of them are very needy and attention grabby, and I loved it.
Yeah, and I think the vehicle here of a
I have a conspiracy theory.
I'm sorry, what?
I have a conspiracy.
You have a conspiracy?
I have a conspiracy theory because it's me and it's a book. When does Slappy enter the picture? When is he alive, do you think?
I mean, it feels like it's deliberately at the very end, but could be early.
You think that's when he came to life? I think he's been alive the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been him doing some things.
Here's why. No. I think he did one thing. He put that piece of paper in Mr. Wood's coat, or in his shirt pocket. Because Lindy's like, I don't remember that being there.
She does say that. And I do think that that's weird. And that could be.
And where else, like.
Could be.
Lindy didn't put it there. She's not a wizard. She's a serial killer in the making, but she's not a wizard. They even talk about like the sorcerer or something at some point too. I think it's sorcerer's magic that brought them alive.
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird. It's like, really? Sorcerer? Okay.
And if we think back far enough, I mean, maybe it wasn't a squirrel they heard. Maybe he did. It
was Slappy. And he jumped into the dumpster.
Where he could be seen because he knew that they would go rescue him. Yeah. It's possible. It's very possible. Can't rule it out.
Or if the paper was there the whole time, the other thing is when she read the paper to try and kill,
she brought Slappy to life.
That's when that brought Slappy. So there's 2 points that I think he came to life. I think he was alive the whole time. And again, he was pulling the long con.
I kind of feel that way too, because there's no other, unless if he was aware that Mr. Wood was there at all, he was alive. If he's like, can't wait for that other guy to be gone.
If he knew,
so you clearly were there.
And I bet like he was planting the seeds, he was getting, doing stuff. I bet you that one of the reasons why Lindy's so good at ventriloquism is because he's doing a little bit sneaky assist.
Right.
Because, like, think about it. If the dummy, like, what did the dummies really want? Like, slaves, but, like, that doesn't tell you anything. Do they want, like, they're built to be performance things. Maybe Slappy is, like, an evil Travis who wants to be on stage no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah. I'm just a regular old Slappy, which is why my face is slapped on his face on this podcast logo. You've put it all together.
And I'm just a fun, cuddly werewolf, so it's That's fine.
True.
I hurt nobody.
Yeah, so I think also you made the point about Curse of the Mummy's Tomb not really hitting you in the right spot because we've never been in a pyramid. It's hard to kind of bring that home. This is, kids are lockstep with dolls. Maybe even especially little girls have a lot more dolls maybe than boys, so that becomes a real threat because dolls, whether they're ventriloquist dolls or not, I think that gave R.L. Stine an excuse for the girls to interact with them, and that's a doll that can talk, potentially. I think it makes it a little bit more riveting because, I'm staring at the doll behind you right now, and I can imagine it doing things. I can imagine, like, if I woke up and it was staring at me, that would creep me out. If I thought it moved, that would creep me out. And so I think he does a really good job of leaning on the whole creepy doll thing here. The ventriloquist thing is a nice bonus. It helps, and it makes it very spooky. We can all kind of relate to even imagining dolls moving. It's part of the horror fabric that we're entwined in. It's a really good gimmick. So I give him credit for that. I think that was well leveraged for this story. I'm going to go ahead and give my rating. I think I'm ready. I'm going to give it 5 out of 7 painted on bow ties. I feel like it's the slow build bored me a little bit, but as soon as Doll started talking, I was in. When we started making fun of the Millers, when Lindy flipped and was evil, I was like, oh shit, this is great. I don't think he wasted a lot of time in the front half of the book. I think it was all necessary, but it took a minute to lure me in. Other than that, I loved it. Where are you at, Dylan? What you thinking?
I'm going to give it 7 doll hands lightly caressing you in the night out of 7.
Wow, loved it that much. And I'm trying to think back. Have you given a 100% rating before? Did you? Where were you at on Monster Blood or Say Cheese and Die? Do you recall? Were you 100%?
I think it was like 90% for those.
So this is your favorite one so far.
That, so it's not like I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it was because I was high for most of it when I was listening to it last night.
It does help.
Which possibly. But I also hate things too when I'm high. It's not like I love everything. So, but it was, and also listened to it at work today.
When you were high?
So maybe it shined in comparison to my job. I don't know. But no, I just really enjoyed, I think partly because I could definitely relate to these children doing the performance thing. Like I was more about like trying magic tricks, and I was very bad at magic tricks as a child. I did a lot of like, oh, you need to close your eyes because I need to open a portal to another dimension and it will blind you if you don't close your eyes. And my parents would close their eyes and then I would switch out the things. So like, okay, you can open them.
Ta-da!
It's gone.
Aw, that's cute. And this was what, up to 4 years ago you were doing that?
Yeah. I mean, they don't humor me as much. So like telling
you
just do it. Just do the trick.
Yeah.
I don't. We'll pretend at the end either way. Like either way, you get the applause. So let's just speed it up.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, man. That's really good. So, I mean, there is a reason. I mean, I liked it too. But there is a reason that Slappy has become the mascot of Goosebumps. This was a character that R.L. Stine loved specifically. I think some of it might tie into his love for joke writing too, and so he maybe sees himself a bit of a Slappy. You think?
What was he? Jovial
Bob Stine. Yeah. So this is Jovial Bob Stine. He gets to flex a little bit when he gets to write about Slappy. So I think that's why he likes him so much. Can't hate him for that. But I don't know. Do you have anything else to add, Dylan? Any other conspiracy theories before we close out this big girthy episode?
No, I mean I could go into detail about the psychological trauma that this family is experiencing prior to the dummies showing up. But you know what? That's for the After Hours podcast. When I just start cracking out normal psych books. It's going to be lots of fun, Travis. I hope you're ready for the next 3 hours.
Bonus bumps, folks. You won't hear much of me on that, but you'll hear a lot of Dylan. All right. Well, that's going to close us out here. Thanks for joining us on this ride. It was certainly a lot of fun. Please email the show. We got goosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your memories about the show, or I'm sorry, your memories about the books that you read growing up, your memories with this one specifically, or anything. Reach out and let us know. We'd love to hear.
Yeah. And if you don't like writing emails, or prefer to keep it short, we like long emails and short emails. But if you prefer to stay off the Gmails or the emails, find us on Twitter. Say Cheese and Pod. And that is at Say Cheese and Pod. And drop us a line. I'm sure I'll be asking some questions on there. Get lonely on there. Reach out.
Reach out. Please give Dylan something to do with that Twitter account. You can also support.
Pay attention to me.
Please. Let him be the audience to his dummy. Support the show on Patreon. You can support this show and our whole network of shows over there if you head on over to patreon.com/polykill, and definitely head on over to polymedianetwork.com if you liked this, you'll love the other stuff. So just go check it all out. Now, Dylan, as you always do about this time, I'd like to hear a little bit of a preview into what people can expect a couple weeks from now.
Lucy likes to tell monster stories. She's told so many that her friends and her family are sick of it. Then one day, Lucy discovers a real, live monster. The librarian in charge of the summer reading program. Too bad Lucy's told so many monster tall tales. Too bad no one believes a word she says. Too bad the monster knows who she is and is coming after her next.